The dried essence blood flickers with an urgent, ancient light, and the herb's master knows the old books held a warning. A stunned silence shatters as reality awakens, and control begins its fatal slip. Don't let this moment vanish, leave a like. To see what emerges from the pages, become an archivist, preserve the record. Fan was stunned. What's going on? Just how many times has this female sea demon betrayed Zhuo Yin? As the jade scroll shattered, the message was sent out. Zhuo Yin exploded in rage. Leaving the West Sea Crown Prince behind, he turned and flew over to the female sea demon. He grabbed her by the neck, roaring, "You filthy woman! How many men have you dallied with behind my back?" The female sea demon's neck creaked under the pressure, her pleas for mercy unending. Just at the moment her life hung by a thread. A heavy and cold snort came from the sea's surface. "Zhuo Yin, if you don't want to die, release my woman," it turned out. This nascent soul expert of the human clan had been lurking nearby all along. Receiving the distress signal, he immediately came to the rescue, only to see the sea water surge. A figure pierced through the vast sea and approached. It was a tall man dressed in a Taoist robe, exuding a powerful nascent soul aura. From Sanking Mountain, Old Dream narrowed his eyes. The tall Taoist-robed figure descended and easily sent Zhu Yin flying, holding the female sea demon in his embrace. "Woo-woo master, I almost got my neck snapped by this scum." The female sea demon immediately threw herself into his arms, sobbing pitifully. At this moment, everyone finally saw his face clearly. His face was brutish, far from handsome, nowhere near Zhu Yin's looks. But his power was unquestionably immense. The oppressive aura he exuded faintly surpassed Old Dream. Jang Fan's eyes flickered. The figure seemed quite similar to the black-robed man who suppressed the East Sea Second Prince days ago. The aura was also remarkably similar. Zhuo Yin recognized him, speaking coldly. "Evil Pupil Master? It's you!" Evil Pupil Master was none other than the one specifically responsible for liaising with him, exchanging the cold cicada silence pill, the head of Sanking Mountain. "You've been secretly taking my woman all along," Zhuo Yin roared, filled with rage. Evil Pupil Master said with a faint smile, "Secretly. Little Ling, tell this fool whose woman you are." The female sea demon cuddled in his arms coyly. "Little Ling, of course, belongs to Evil Pupil Master. This time I also managed to deceive the seal of Beihai God Transformation Relics for you." She happily presented the blue flame mark, handing it to Evil Pupil Master. The face of the West Sea Crown Prince changed color. He finally realized that this female sea demon approached him with an agenda. And he was so horn-headed, he handed her the seal. Zhu Yin staggered even more, panicking. "What about the things I've stored with you all these years?" Little Ling rolled her eyes contemptuously. "What yours? All of that belongs to Evil Pupil Master. Without the Master's orders, I wouldn't have even looked at a scum like you from South Sea." "What?" Everything Zhu Yin had brought from South Sea over the years had been given to another man by Little Ling. No, it was all Evil Pupil Master's scheme. He used Zhu Yin to empty the South Sea. Zhu Yin felt deeply betrayed, his fury roaring uncontrollably. "Evil Pupil! You manipulated me?" Evil Pupil Master sneered, "But you had to be rotten enough to be manipulated. Like you, oppressing your own kind and handing things to outsiders. We don't have many like that in our Taikang state. Thank you over these years, I've gathered many good things from South Sea. Soon my nascent soul will open its second aperture." Ah, Zhu Yin's eyes were bursting with fury. He was played like a fool. "I'll kill you!" Zhu Yin charged in anger, launching a water dragon. Evil Pupil Master sneered dismissively. "A left-down nascent soul barely supported by a wife dares to show off in front of me." He waved his hand casually. Zhu Yin coughed up blood and was sent flying backwards. "Ha-ha, useless! Now that you've been kicked out of the South Sea Imperial family, you're worthless to me. Little Ling from now on, obediently serve by my side. No need to return to this scum anymore," Little Ling said affectionately. "That's wonderful. I've long since wanted to ignore this scum." Evil Pupil Master chuckled. He raised his eyes to look at Old Dream Demon Emperor wearing a mischievous smile. "What a pity the greatest treasure in South Sea is actually you. I initially wanted to use this scum to get you as well. Seems like there's no chance now. Ha ha ha. Farewell, Old Dream Demon Emperor, here's your scum husband back." Evil Pupil Master was ready to leave with the female sea demon in his arms. Old Dream Demon Emperor's face turned cold. "Who allowed you to leave?" Evil Pupil Master replied brazenly. "Oh, does Old Dream Demon Emperor want to seek justice for your scum husband?" Old Dream Demon Emperor snorted coldly. "I care not whether he lives or dies." Return the things Zhu Yin swindled from South Sea over these years. Due to the lack of resources, the sea demons of South Sea have always been somewhat weak. How could they let the evil pupil master, who was the behind-the-scenes instigator, leave so easily? Just you. And me. Zhuo Yin wiped the blood from his lips, seething with hatred. Together as husband and wife, we'll kill you, you bastard. Zhuo Yin was the first to charge forward. Old Dream Demon Emperor frowned. The words husband and wife united, coming from Zhuo Yin's mouth, made her feel disgusted. But if Zhuo Yin wanted to make a move, how could she stop him? Immediately, she joined in as well. Evil pupil master tossed Little Ling aside, saying, "You go deal with those two guys." He quickly confronted the two demon emperors. The great battle erupted instantly. The destructive shockwaves forced Jang Fan and the West Sea Crown Prince to retreat hurriedly to a distant spot. Before they could even stabilize, Jang Fan sensed a chilling sea current rushing toward him. It was the female sea demon known as Little Ling, filled with murderous intent. Jang Fan kicked the West Sea Crown Prince forward. "Deal with the mess you made yourself." The West Sea Crown Prince looked at the female sea demon, full of embarrassment. He had thought his charm was so irresistible, having attracted such a pretty female sea demon. In the end, it was all a plot to seize the qualification for Beihai Transformation Relics. He stupidly fell for it. Realizing this, he was burning with rage. In his palm gathered powerful water series' innate divine ability, and he went on to engage. But as soon as they clashed, the West Sea Crown Prince showed a pained expression, his figure staggering and falling to the ground. Gripping his chest, he suddenly coughed up a mouthful of black blood. Little Ling landed in front of him, extending her delicate fingers. On her fingers there was a faint, unclear liquid. The West Sea Crown Prince immediately understood what happened to him. When she was touching his body, she took the opportunity to inject the poison through the skin into his body. At this moment, at her manipulation, the poison erupted. "You poisonous fish!" The West Sea Crown Prince's forehead was dripping in cold sweat, his face full of pained anger. The female sea demon covered her mouth, giggling incessantly. "Right back at you, poison-hand Crown Prince. Everyone across the four seas knows about you poisoning that little fish demon." She caressed the West Sea Crown Prince's face. "Such a pity. Such a handsome person, I wanted to have a taste myself. Too bad you're going to die." The words still hung in her mouth. Suddenly, a strange, low voice came from the side. "Sky has 9 stars, earth has 9 palaces. I have 100 knots, myriad gods follow. 3 corpses are hidden, 5 organs circulate." A sudden hypnotism made the female sea demon sway. Suddenly feeling that things were amiss, she exclaimed, "Forget God's spell." Betrayal she hurriedly tried to counter with her water series' divine skills. But this was the Sanking Mountain's secret technique that even took concubine Xianxia by surprise. How could the female sea demon withstand it? She staggered unsteadily. Finally, her eyelids dropped and she collapsed to the ground. She hadn't even fallen to the ground yet. A purple sword, poised and ready, suddenly slashed down. The female sea demon's beautiful head rolled to the ground on the spot. Jang Fan hurriedly patted the sleeping West Sea Crown Prince. Hey, was I knocked unconscious?" The West Sea Crown Prince woke up drowsily, confused about why he suddenly fainted earlier. Jang Fan said, "How do we cure this poison?" West Sea Crown Prince looked around. Then he saw the female sea demon's head. Looking at that exquisite, beautiful face, he couldn't help but sigh, "Such beauty, and you dared to chop it. What a waste!" "Oh, come on." Jang Fan punched his chest in annoyance. "You worthless thing. Your life was nearly lost at her hands, and you're still thinking about her looks. Her body is still warm. Do you want to take advantage of it while it's fresh?" The West Sea Crown Prince's eyes lit up. But after looking at the headless corpse, which appeared rather fierce, the light in his eyes dimmed instantly. "Better detoxify me first. There should be something on this female sea demon's body that can detoxify." Jang Fan picked up the purple sword and prodded the headless corpse. He actually found a strange piece of purple-green seaweed. The West Sea Crown Prince exclaimed joyfully, "This is it." He immediately crawled over, grabbed a handful, and started chewing. Before long, the pain on his face quickly subsided, and he regained freedom of movement. "Good brother, you saved me again," the West Sea Crown Prince praised. "I never thought you could escape from the Sky Demon Emperor's clutches. Now you're even following the old Dream Demon Emperor as a sidekick. I really underestimated you." Sidekick. Well, sort of. Jang Fan glanced at the distant battlefield. The old Dream Demon Emperor's situation wasn't looking good. Even with Zhuo Yin's assistance, his strength couldn't pose much of a threat to the evil pupil master. On the contrary, his presence was actually making the old dream demon emperor hesitant, afraid that an unintended move could harm Zhuo Yin. The evil pupil master had no such concerns. Thus, the old dream demon emperor was at a disadvantage. This wouldn't do. Thinking it over, he picked up the female sea demon's head, stuck it on the purple sword, then from a distance flew the sword into the battlefield among the three. The evil pupil master was feeling smug. I've long heard that the old dream demon emperor shared some of her tribulation thunder with her worthless husband. The result was insufficient refinement, leading her strength to be less than a normal demon emperor. Now it seems true. If that's the case, then I'll gladly welcome you. He laughed evilly, his eyes roaming freely over the old dream demon emperor's alluring long legs. Suddenly, a sword flew over. It was still carrying a head. Initially, he didn't care much, but upon closer inspection, he suddenly lost his composure and shouted in shock, "Little Ling," though he didn't necessarily truly love this female sea demon. After all, she'd been with him for years. Even a dog can evoke feelings, let alone such a loyal woman, and in that moment of distraction, the old dream demon emperor seized the opportunity. Her eyes flashed with sharp light. An invisible water blade quickly shot over. Even though the evil pupil master quickly reacted, dodging in time, his right chest was still pierced. Blood splattered, and internal organs were damaged. He cried out in pain and immediately retreated. The old dream demon emperor wouldn't miss such a golden opportunity. Immediately she pursued aggressively, saying, "Zhuo Yin attack, don't give him a chance to recover," if managed correctly. At least they could severely injure the evil pupil master, thus capturing him. Zhuo Yin's eyes flashed with cruelty, saying, "All right." He channeled all his water series divine skills and fiercely attacked old dream demon emperor's back. The old dream demon emperor was wholeheartedly focused on dealing with a formidable enemy. Where would she expect Zhuo Yin to backstab her? Jang Fan, observing this scene from afar, turned visibly pale. In haste, he manipulated the close-range purple sword towards Zhuo Yin's head. Zhuo Yin was interrupted. The intended strike to the old dream demon emperor's vital spot hit her shoulder instead. Ah! The old dream demon emperor groaned miserably. A slab of flesh was knocked off her shoulder, revealing a deep wound down to the bone. The evil pupil master took the chance to recover. He looked at Zhuo Yin, puzzled. He saw Zhuo Yin's sinister face and said, "Why are you looking? Together let's kill this woman. Otherwise, if she finishes you, I'll be brought back to the South Sea Palace for punishment. At best, I'd lose my cultivation, at worst be imprisoned for life," the evil pupil master realized instantly. Turns out Zhuo Yin had been waiting for an opportunity to kill her from the beginning. "Haha, Zhuo Yin, you really are a bastard. But I like it, ha. If so, let's send this wretched woman away." The injured evil pupil master, filled with anger, no longer showed mercy. The old dream demon emperor was suddenly in an extremely dangerous situation. The shoulder injury rendered her entire arm powerless. She also had to face attacks from both the evil pupil master and Zhuo Yin. "Zhuo Yin," the old dream demon emperor was furious. In such a critical moment, he actually sided with the enemy against her. Was she more detestable than the deceitful evil pupil master? At this moment, she was utterly heartbroken. Zhuo Yin coldly said, "Why are you shouting? Just die for me." As she was about to be caught between the two, facing her demise, Jang Fan gritted his teeth, reluctantly took out a talisman arrow. All right, might as well use it as if dealing with spirit sound. Otherwise, if the old dream demon emperor perished here, the two would not spare him either. With that in mind, he decisively launched the talisman arrow, targeting the evil pupil master. Boom! The unexpectedly powerful talisman arrow startled the evil pupil master, making him flee hurriedly. The old dream demon emperor was elated, taking the opportunity to combine her attacks with the talisman arrow against the evil pupil master. This pushed the evil pupil master onto the defensive, enraged and exclaimed, "Zhuo Yin, don't worry about this side. Kill that human youngster. Prevent him from disrupting the battle again." It was him who sent Little Ling's head over that distracted him, allowing the old dream demon emperor to attack. Now it's this little brat again. Zhuo Yin had long wanted to kill Jang Fan. He immediately turned viciously, flying towards Jang Fan. "Little bastard. You're doomed." Jang Fan's face turned stern. Though Zhuo Yin was nothing in front of nascent soul and demon emperor, he was still a left-down nascent soul, far stronger than ninth layer perfection. The West Sea Crown Prince retreated quickly in fear, saying, "Brother, you're the target." Jang Fan was annoyed at this unsupportive guy. He immediately snorted, "You flirted with his little mistress and you think he'll spare you. If I die, he'll come after you next. Better face him together with me." The West Sea Crown Prince thought it over. He almost put a green hat on Zhuo Yin. Zhuo Yin surely wouldn't spare him. Feeling compelled, he and Jang Fan faced Zhuo Yin together. "Brother Jiang, let's hold on together. My dad should be almost here." He had secretly summoned him when Zhuo Yin injured him. By now, he should be close. Jang Fan felt delighted. This guy wasn't dumb. Seeing the situation dire, he even thought of calling his father. However, who knows if they can last until the West Sea Demon Emperor arrives. At this moment, there was a loud boom. The evil pupil master let out a miserable groan, clearly injured by the symbol arrow. Having been wounded twice, he could no longer hold the upper hand. He shouted from afar, "Zhuo Yin, finish it quickly." Zhuo Yin stirred the surging water and arrived in front of Jang Fan and the West Sea Crown Prince. "You two bastards, go and die," Jang Fan said speechlessly. "West Sea Crown Prince, aren't you going to show your true skills? All blame on you for messing with someone's wife, stirring up such resentment." The West Sea Crown Prince immediately looked embarrassed. This resentment indeed was brought by him, but little did he expect, Zhuo Yin exploded upon hearing it. "Jiang, you little bastard! You dare speak ill of others! Did you enjoy stripping my wife's clothes? Did you enjoy eating from my wife's chest? I'll chop you into pieces and scatter your bones." The West Sea Crown Prince felt as if he was struck by 5 thunders, looking at the distant beauty, the renowned old dream demon emperor. Then looking at Jang Fan beside him, with a mask of righteous appearance. He suddenly felt like cursing. "Damn, you actually flirted with the South Sea Demon Emperor. I wouldn't dare to dream such a dream. Jang Fan, you deserve to die." His eyes were red with jealousy, instantly not wanting to help Jang Fan anymore. The benefits were taken entirely by Jang Fan, but the trouble came to shoulder together. "A pure fool." Jang Fan blushed and said, "Less nonsense." Immediately, thunder surged within his body. Zhuo Yin sneered, "Pretty boy, you dare to attack this demon emperor with only core formation realm. Overestimating yourself." He casually waved, producing a mighty water blade that slashed towards Jang Fan from afar. This was his only aspect that reached the standard of the demon emperor realm. Although lacking the power of the demon emperor, his physique and soul were not yet achieved. But this strike was still superior to the 9th layer of core formation perfection. The West Sea Crown Prince's scalp went numb. How could this be something he could handle? He hurriedly made a gesture and quickly dodged. Jang Fan's eyes flashed with intensity as he roared, "Heavenly Thunder 6 parts Undying Blade." An 800 jang long powerful thunder blade descended from the sky, slashing down fiercely, colliding with the water blade on the spot. Boom, a violent muffled sound erupted on the seabed. The thunder blade shattered, transforming into arcs of thunder that struck Zhuo Yin, leaving his body covered in scorch marks. The water blade also shattered, dispersing. Many pieces flew towards Jang Fan, but Jang Fan was prepared, pulling out the sky observation treasure. The residual power of these water blades was all deflected back, causing him no harm, just making him step back a few steps. Zhuo Yin touched the scorch marks on his face with disbelief. "You actually blocked my strike?" He could hardly believe it. Jang Fan was only at the core formation 8th layer. If he broke through to the 9th layer of core formation perfection, wouldn't he be able to surpass him, the left down nascent soul? But he also noted some details, snorting, "That strike exhausted your power of thunder and lightning. I want to see how many hits you can take." He unleashed another mighty water blade. Jang Fan gritted his teeth. "Divine Lord Vastness." Golden lines condensed behind him into a formidable divine statue. 6 arms launched along with Jang Fan. 6 golden punches pierced through the water and shattered the water blade. Both were forced to retreat repeatedly. This made Zhuo Yin unable to accept. The pretty boy he looked down on was capable of fighting on par with him. "I don't believe it." Zhuo Yin seemed to be greatly stimulated, attacking madly. Jang Fan continued to unleash the divine figure. With the protection of the sky observation treasure, Jang Fan was momentarily neck and neck with Zhuo Yin. The West Sea Crown Prince watched this scene from afar, gasping repeatedly. "Holy cow! No wonder you dared to mess with someone's wife. You indeed have the skills not to fear Zhuo Yin." In the distance, the evil pupil master saw that Zhuo Yin was actually held up by Jang Fan and cursed angrily. "What a useless person! Can't even handle a core formation." The old dream demon emperor's eyes shone with surprise and delight. Zhuo Yin's strength, she knew clearly, definitely no waste. Unless it's another left down nascent soul being otherwise, the ninth layer of core formation perfection, no one is its enemy. Unexpected. Jang Fan concealed his strength. His move was astonishing. What further delighted her? The distant sea currents roared. The powerful aura of the West Sea Demon Emperor rushed over, sensing his arrival. The evil pupil master's face changed drastically, no longer daring to fight. Bursting out a few big moves, he tried to shake off the old Dream Demon Emperor and escape. Zhuo Yin also sensed the aura of the West Sea Demon Emperor, and his face changed. Glaring at Jang Fan with great unwillingness, he said gloomily, "You're lucky." He decisively retreated. Seeing him run, the evil pupil master swore and also tried to retreat from the old Dream Demon Emperor. Turned around and fled. The old Dream Demon Emperor wanted to chase but was a bit powerless. Jang Fan freed up his hands. Seeing this situation, how could he let the evil pupil master escape? He glanced at his infinite ring with dwindling green energy. Gritting his teeth, he immediately activated it. Suddenly, the evil pupil master was hit by an uncontrollable monstrous force. With a loud bang, he was slammed onto the ground. The old Dream Demon Emperor paused, then realized Jang Fan had used that magical ring again. How could she let this chance slip? She clasped her hands together and fiercely slashed. A terrifying spatial blade sliced towards him. The evil pupil master was frightened. In the face of life and death, he decisively used his survival technique. Bloodlight emerged, wrapping him and teleporting him away. But it was a step too late. A miserable wail came forth. He escaped, but one arm was cleanly cut off, spraying blood left behind. However, his luck seemed not too good. At the horizon, violent turbulence erupted again. It turned out he collided with the West Sea Demon Emperor. The old Dream Demon Emperor and the others hurried over. When they arrived, they indeed saw the West Sea Demon Emperor. Surrounding them, blood was everywhere, but no sign of the evil pupil master. This guy used the method of burning a large amount of essence blood to flee. To capture him is truly difficult. The bald West Sea Demon Emperor looked at the eyeball with two pupils between his fingers. Although the evil pupil master ran, he was still forced by the West Sea Demon Emperor to leave an eyeball behind. This time losing an arm, an eyeball, plus twice draining a large amount of essence blood. He was greatly injured. The resources swindled from the South Sea over the years, all wasted. "Dad!" The West Sea Crown Prince ran over, excited. The West Sea Demon Emperor glared at him and then saluted the old Dream Demon Emperor. "Thanks to the old Dream Demon Emperor for saving my son." The old Dream Demon Emperor shrugged her severely wounded right shoulder, smiled bitterly. "I was overwhelmed myself. How could I have spare strength? Thank my brother, Fan, instead. If he hadn't acted several times, our situation would have been tough." Fan, brother. The West Sea Demon Emperor looked at Jang Fan beside the old Dream Demon Emperor, raising his eyebrows in surprise. "Jang Fan, why are you here? Weren't you in the East Sea?" Jang Fan smiled bitterly and said, "This is a long story. In any case, encountering the West Sea Crown Prince was purely by chance. Rescuing him was just a matter of convenience. The West Sea Demon Emperor need not dwell on it." Hearing Jang Fan being so modest, the old Dream Demon Emperor couldn't take it anymore. She patted him on the shoulder with a face full of pride, saying, "West Sea Demon Emperor, don't listen to his modesty." The battle just now was quite perilous. After she finished recounting the events, the West Sea Demon Emperor was repeatedly shocked. "You actually managed to contend with the Zhuo Yin Demon Emperor. Hiss, what monster did the heavenly mechanism pavilion produce?" The Jiden 8th layer fought a left-down nascent soul and ended in a draw. Who would dare to believe it? Moreover, he repeatedly used the talisman arrows and infinite ring, his two trump cards, to change the tide of the battle, looking at Jang Fan, then at his own son. His anger boiled over, and he raised his hand to knock the West Sea Crown Prince on the head, frustrated. "Look at Jang Fan. He's even younger than you, can fight a left-down nascent soul, and even gets involved in battles of nascent soul experts. And you only know how to play with women. This time you almost lost your life to it. How did the West Sea raise such a useless child?" The West Sea Crown Prince rubbed his aching head, protesting. "Dad, don't be fooled by my brother Jang. He only plays the high-level game, straight up." He couldn't continue because Jang Fan and the old Dream Demon Emperor shot him two deadly looks. The West Sea Crown Prince quickly stopped, coughed, and said, "In any case, his women are very powerful, extremely powerful." The West Sea Demon Emperor knocked him on the head again. "That's his skill too. If you're so capable, play the high-level game too." The West Sea Crown Prince pulled a long face. How could he afford to play? Those are the female demon emperors who divide the four seas just like you, Dad. The West Sea Demon Emperor was frustrated. Without Jang Fan to compare, he felt his son was still decent, at least better than that scoundrel Zhuo Yin, right? But in comparison, he just wanted to throw him away and start over. Looking at the somewhat worn-out Jang Fan, the West Sea Demon Emperor thought for a moment, then handed the eyeball scooped from evil pupil master's eye to Jang Fan. You got credit last time and I had nothing to reward you with, so this eyeball is your compensation. Jang Fan looked at this bloody eyeball a bit puzzled. Does this thing have any special use? Old Dream Demon Emperor's eyes lit up, took it for Jang Fan and said, this is a great treasure. Evil pupil master has one eye, naturally a double pupil. This eye pupil can see through illusions. Any invisibility, illusion techniques, or charms cannot escape this eye. Even your mid-grade, dustless talisman is rendered null by this gaze. Did the West Sea Demon Emperor really take this eyeball? Jang Fan, if you forge it into a magical treasure, it will be extremely useful. Jang Fan's eyes showed joy. Just hearing it, he knew it was a great treasure. He himself often used invisibility talismans to ambush and neutralize enemies. Naturally, he knew how dangerous it is when enemies are invisible. Now with this eyeball, he had gained a huge layer of protection. The energy he lost earlier from the talisman arrows and infinite ring was all replenished by this single eyeball. This evil pupil master suffered a big loss. Jang Fan chuckled. The only double pupil was taken. It's a pity about Zhuo Yin. We came for him this time, but in the end he got away. Old Dream Demon Emperor frowned deeply as well. This poisonous snake, who knows where he's hiding now? Who knows, he might suddenly appear one day and bite someone. But the West Sea Demon Emperor's face turned cold. Injured my son and he still wants to escape the West Sea? Rest assured he won't get away. I brought strong experts from the West Sea clan, and we've already laid a net over 100 miles. Just as he finished speaking, a peculiar sound wave came from the distant seawater. The West Sea Demon Emperor's eyebrows lifted, and he laughed. Someone found him. He immediately turned into a shadow and took the West Sea Crown Prince away. Old Dream Demon Emperor's face lit up with joy, saying, this guy, karma finally caught up with him. Jang Fan pondered, Old Dream, are you still planning to spare his life? Just now, he betrayed you and nearly cost you your life. Old Dream Demon Emperor's expression cooled when she heard this. After a long contemplation, she slightly shook her head. Anyone else can kill him, but I can't. I am his wife and the one entrusted by the old Demon Emperor on his deathbed to take care of him. Emotionally and rationally, I can't kill him. Jang Fan frowned. What about the clan elder of the South Sea Imperial family? The old Dream Demon Emperor still shook her head and said, they won't kill him either. As she spoke, she gently lowered her head and sighed. The South Sea needs a Demon Emperor to hold the fort. The reason I can command the South Sea is because I am Zhuo Yin's wife. With this name and status, no one can defy me. If Zhuo Yin is dead, then who am I? On what grounds can I command the South Sea? So no matter what, Zhuo Yin cannot die. Even if, she pondered for a long time. A trace of grievance and helplessness surged in her eyes. Looking at Jang Fan, who had resolved great crises for her several times, it seemed she finally found someone she could confide in. Bitterly, she said, even the clan elders have urged me more than once. To bear Zhuo Yin's child, to continue the South Sea Imperial family, to conceive a child with such a person. Jang Fan, what should I do? Jang Fan could feel the pain in the heart of the old Dream Demon Emperor. He could also understand it a little. Just like how Ling Yin urged him to have a child with Demon Moon. He would rather die than have such an association with Demon Moon. Much less for the old Dream Demon Emperor with such a wretched person as Zhuo Yin. That would be even more painful than killing her. If given a choice, she would surely, like Jang Fan, rather die than be with Zhuo Yin. He pondered for a long time. A hint of coldness flashed in Jang Fan's eyes, but his face showed no expression as he said, Old Dream, when the boat reaches the bridge, it will naturally straighten itself. There will always be a way. The old Dream Demon Emperor felt a bit disappointed in her heart. She hoped to hear some comfort, but instead it was just these perfunctory words. She sighed slightly. People's sorrows and pains do not resonate with each other. I have troubled you. Let's go, let's see Zhuo Yin lest he gets killed by the West Sea. When they arrived, Zhuo Yin was already lying on the ground with his head bloody. Beside him was a somewhat disheveled Zhu Yinghuan, the first martial minister under the West Sea Demon Emperor. Though he was at the 9th layer of core formation, his strength was unbelievably profound. He forcibly detained Zhuo Yin until the arrival of the West Sea Demon Emperor. Old Dream Demon Emperor, this man is your husband. I only taught him a lesson. What follows is for you to deal with. The West Sea Demon Emperor tidied his blood-stained sleeve. Clearly, Zhuo Yin's miserable state was thanks to this West Sea Demon Emperor's fury in avenging his son. Zhuo Yin seemed like he was granted a great reprieve. With disheveled hair and a face full of dirt and blood, he crawled towards the Old Dream Demon Emperor, saying, "Old Dream, quickly take me back to the South Sea." He had no doubt that, if not for the Old Dream Demon Emperor, the West Sea Demon Emperor would have killed him. The Old Dream Demon Emperor looked at him expressionlessly. She lifted a foot and kicked him in the abdomen. Powerful demon power surged into his body, rendering his cultivation entirely useless. His demon power, innate divine abilities, all disintegrated. He became an ordinary person with a physique slightly stronger than a normal Sea Demon clan member. Zhuo Yin was in great pain, clutching his arms, twisting and rolling on the ground. The Demon Emperor of the South Sea was thus ruined. It took a long time for him to regain his composure and struggle to get up. He accepted his fate. Being a useless person is better than dying, right? Anyway, back in the South Sea, no one would kill him. At this thought, his mind and body relaxed. Noticing Jang Fan on the side, his eyes were full of hatred. But in an instant, he turned to mockery. Walking up to him, he said in a strange tone, "Jang Fan, aren't you very disappointed that my wife didn't kill me? Don't worry, your disappointment has more to come. The South Sea Imperial family relies on me to continue its lineage. So, whether Old Dream likes it or not, sooner or later she will have to lie under me. At my mercy, she will be conquered by me, obediently bearing my child, giving birth to children that are ours. Are you very angry? Do you want to kill me? Ha ha ha." Jang Fan gently smiled. "You think too much. That's your South Seas affair. Why would I, a member of the human clan, get involved? I hope you both reconcile well." Zhuo Yin's face stiffened. He actually didn't manage to anger Jang Fan. He didn't know. In the palm of Jang Fan, who had his hands behind his back, a hairpin was gently rotating. The matter here is settled. The Old Dream Demon Emperor felt her shoulders lighten. The bind of the cold cicada silence pill has completely ended, and the hidden danger of the murky yin will also come to an end. It has been over a decade. She had never felt so relaxed before. If she were alone here, she would hold a pot of wine and dance lightly under the moon. Of course, there are some not-so-pleasant things, too. And that is, she must bid farewell to Jang Fan. "Jang Fan, do you have any plans next?" The Old Dream Demon Emperor gently looked at Jang Fan. Her eyes were soft. Jang Fan touched his brow and said, "Probably going to the North Sea." Initially, he planned to gather 3 nascent souls before heading to the Divinity Transformation Relics in the North Sea to try his luck and search for Divinity Transformation blood essence. But even powerful figures in the nascent soul realm like the evil pupil master are seeking entry qualifications. He could not wait any longer. Otherwise, if someone else got there first, what use would gathering the souls be? "Are you leaving now?" the Old Dream Demon Emperor gently asked. In her heart there was a faint feeling of reluctance at this moment. The West Sea Demon Emperor came over and said, "Hey, since you're here, how can you just leave like that? Both of you are the South Sea Demon Emperor and my son's savior. If I don't extend some hospitality, outsiders would say the West Sea lacks manners." The Old Dream Demon Emperor shook her head and said, "I don't need it. Just take good care of my little brother Fan. I need to rush back to handle the murky yin, lest we dream too long at night." The West Sea Demon Emperor opened his mouth, but in the end did not persuade her to stay. He knew the character of the Old Dream Demon Emperor. Affairs of the South Sea are always her top priority, everything else comes after. Now, with such important matters to deal with, she naturally wouldn't stay for a rather insignificant banquet. "Old Dream, stay here. It's not too late to leave tomorrow." Jang Fan spoke up to persuade her to stay. The Old Dream Demon Emperor brushed aside her hair by the ear, somewhat hesitant. "What about the murky yin?" Jang Fan glanced at her and said, "His cultivation is already abolished. What else could happen? Stay, just take it as accompanying me in the West Sea for a while." The Old Dream Demon Emperor originally didn't want to stay, but upon hearing the last sentence, she unconsciously agreed. "All right then. Sorry to bother the West Sea Demon Emperor." "No problem, no problem." The West Sea Demon Emperor smiled on the surface, puzzled inside. Impossible. The Old Dream Demon Emperor actually set aside responsibilities of the South Sea to join a leisure banquet. The West Sea Crown Prince saw all this, enviably gnashing his teeth with admiration. With just a "stay with me," the South Sea Emperor immediately surrendered. This skill Jiang possesses, I must study it for at least 20 years. That night, the West Sea Demon Emperor graciously entertained Jang Fan and the old Dream Demon Emperor. Little friend Jiang, you mentioned going to the North Sea just now. Is there a compelling reason? The West Sea Demon Emperor asked during the banquet. Jang Fan thought for a moment and honestly replied, "Anyway, many people know about it, it's no secret. The Beihai Demon clan, months ago, offered me an opportunity to enter the Divinity Transformation Relics. This time, taking advantage of the vast sea journey, I might as well go to the North Sea to settle this matter." The crowd clicked their tongues in wonder. Sitting beside him, the old Dream Demon Emperor exclaimed in surprise, "The Beihai Demon clan was actually willing to offer you the Divinity Transformation Relics qualification. Unbelievable. The Yizhu Demon Emperor and I personally requested it, yet they refused to give it. No matter what price, they wouldn't trade." The West Sea Demon Emperor also looked surprised. "Little friend Jiang is indeed favored by our Sea Demon clan. To think the Beihai Demon clan even gifted you this item. Our West Sea was fortunate to obtain a credential because the North Sea was once in trouble, and our West Sea supported them with considerable casualties. The North Sea, remembering this favor, gave our West Sea one as an exception." Oh, Jang Fan was amazed. He hadn't expected the Divinity Transformation Relics qualification to be guarded so closely by the North Sea. The other 3 seas found it hard to obtain one, yet he got one, thanks to Bai Chu back then, who insisted on dueling him, using the Divinity Transformation Relics qualification as a bet. As for the West Sea's Divinity Transformation Relics credential, he looked at the West Sea Crown Prince, only to see the West Sea Crown Prince bury his face in a bowl, munching vigorously. At this moment, he was probably drenched in sweat. The old Dream Demon Emperor curled her lips, serves him right. Enticed a married woman and ended up falling into a trap, not only losing such a precious Divinity Transformation Relics, almost cost him his life. Jiang Fan is better. Never provokes married women, thinking of the scene in the array with Jiang Fan. Her face reddened. All right, but he doesn't do it surreptitiously. He comes openly and honestly. In any case, unlike that trash of a West Sea Crown Prince. Jiang Fan, since you have a Divinity Transformation Relics too, why not pair up with my good-for-nothing? The West Sea Demon Emperor's eyes brightened. I am worried he would suffer if he went in alone. With you guarding him, I would be much more at ease. Jiang Fan's mouth twitched. He originally intended to keep it concealed, but now it was impossible to hide. He could only let the West Sea Crown Prince fend for himself. I have no objections. It depends on the Crown Prince's opinion. The West Sea Demon Emperor was slightly puzzled. What opinion could the Crown Prince have? Why did Jiang Fan say this? And saw the West Sea Crown Prince with his head buried, eating vigorously. Suddenly a bad premonition arose in his heart. "Crown Prince, let me see your flame mark of the Divinity Transformation Relics." The West Sea Crown Prince looked up, forcing a smile on a face smeared with grains of rice. "Father, what's there to see? How could I possibly lose it?" The West Sea Demon Emperor stood up with a swish, panic-stricken. He knew his son, didn't he? With a little twist of the hip, he could tell the color of what he excreted. Such concealment, it was definitely lost. Coupling with the previous deception by that female sea demon, a thunderclap resounded in his head. "You wretch, you weren't swindled out of your flame mark by a female sea demon, were you?" The West Sea Crown Prince's eyes twinkled, clutching his stomach. "Father, my stomach aches." "I'll take my leave first." Said this, he tried to slip away. The West Sea Demon Emperor was so angry that he saw stars, such an essential flame mark, and this wretch was deceived by a woman out of it. "Stomach ache? I'll make sure your whole body aches now." He drew a whip at random, and with a crack, lashed the West Sea Crown Prince, sending him sprawling with a scream. The clothes on his chest were torn, revealing a blood-stained mark. Jiang Fan winced from the pain he witnessed. The West Sea Demon Emperor really laid it on thick. "Ow!" The West Sea Crown Prince howled in pain, hastily climbing towards Jiang Fan. "Brother Jiang, help me, quickly save me. My father will whip me to death." Jiang Fan glanced at him. This blockhead, it'd be better if he got whipped to death. However, having nabbed a box of water source essence from this guy, might as well help him out this once. He said to the old Dream Demon Emperor, "Old Dream, let them transcribe that pill recipe for the West Sea as well." The old Dream Demon Emperor was somewhat reluctant, her red lips curling slightly. "I exchanged 10 protective night pearls for it, and the West Sea wants it for free? As if the South Sea would be the only sucker. No way, the 4 seas are one family. Why should the West get special treatment?" Her charming eyes turned, and she spoke meaningfully. West Sea Demon Emperor, I heard your imperial family has discovered another deceiving god pearl. Demon Emperor showed a bitter smile. Old Dream Demon Emperor, where did you hear such rumors? The deceiving god pearl has been completely extinct ever since one was discovered 300 years ago. If there were any, those divine sects from Taking State would have already trampled down the threshold of our West Sea. Such words are best left unspoken. They would unnecessarily bring trouble to our West Sea. Jang Fan heard these words. He immediately understood the meaning behind Old Dream Demon Emperor's words. Having experienced the rain herself, she knew how unpleasant it was to get wet. So she wanted to tear away the West Sea's umbrella, making everyone feel the same discomfort. Sister Old Dream, what is the deceiving god pearl? Jang Fan asked softly. The Old Dream Demon Emperor replied, 300 years ago, the then Crown Prince of the West Sea was making a hasty breakthrough and was about to fail. You know what the consequences are if one fails to break through to the Demon Emperor realm, right? Jang Fan nodded. Entangled by evil qi, it would be difficult to ever step into the Demon Emperor realm again in one's lifetime. Concubine Xianxia was a living example of this. If not for the green crane, master's heart-calming lotus silk duster, she would have had no hope of reaching the Demon Emperor in this life. The Crown Prince was on the verge of failing his breakthrough to become a Demon Emperor. So he took out a magical treasure called the Deceiving God Pearl. Then, the breakthrough paused. After 3 months of preparation, he resumed the breakthrough and finally entered the Demon Emperor realm. What? Jang Fan widened his eyes. Are you saying that breaking through to the Demon Emperor realm can be paused? Is undergoing a heavenly tribulation such child's play? If it weren't for the serious tone of the Old Dream Demon Emperor, he wouldn't have dared to believe it could be true. Could such a serious and dangerous event like heavenly tribulation actually be forcibly paused? The Old Dream Demon Emperor nodded lightly and said earnestly, I know you don't believe it. At first I didn't either, but it's recorded in the sea calendars of the 4 seas. The deceiving god pearl never appeared before, nor has it been born again after. In the thousands of years of history of the 4 seas, this was the only one. Its name was given by the demon emperor of that time. Deceiving heaven, deceiving heaven, deceiving the gods. This pearl actually accomplished it. The tone of the Old Dream Demon Emperor carried a trace of disbelief. This pearl not only caused the heavenly tribulation to temporarily dissipate, but also preserved the breakthrough opportunity within the body of the challenger at all times. Do you understand its value now? Jang Fan's heart pounded wildly. It's even more precious than 6 protective night pearls. The opportunity to break through to nascent soul, how difficult is it, need I say more? Jang Fan was still troubled by the blood debt of the life-changing jade disc. That tiger demon emperor, close to the Divinity Transformation realm, dominated a continent era. Among what was left, there were only 3 opportunities to break through to the demon emperor in total. Finally, there's the bounty from the Kinshin Bureau, an ancient giant in exchange for a chance to break through to nascent soul. Besides, he hadn't heard a word about a breakthrough opportunity to nascent soul. Yet this deceiving god pearl, it can actually temporarily retain the opportunity when a breakthrough is about to fail. This is too heaven-defying. It's equivalent to having 2 chances for 1 opportunity. If one attempt fails, pause immediately. Wait until you are fully prepared and then attempt the breakthrough again. Jang Fan's heart was moved. He looked at the West Sea Demon Emperor and said, West Sea Demon Emperor, Jr. is willing to exchange for a pill recipe. He glanced at the West Sea Crown Prince. Originally, he intended to exchange it to spare him a beating. But now, who is the West Sea Crown Prince anyway? Exchange for the deceiving god pearl. The West Sea Demon Emperor smiled bitterly. Young Master Jiang, why are you also listening to Old Dream Demon Emperor's rumors? Where would our West Sea get such a thing? The Old Dream Demon Emperor giggled. West Sea Demon Emperor. This pill recipe, it's the recipe for the cold cicada silence pill. Are you sure you don't want it? What? The bitter smile on the face of the West Sea Demon Emperor instantly vanished, replaced by shock. He scanned his surroundings. He decisively closed the doors of the Great Hall and set up a segregating water curtain. Cold cicada silence pill recipe? Old Dream Demon Emperor, such words shouldn't be spoken lightly. If it falls into the ears of Sanking Mountain, who knows what great trouble it might stir up. The matter concerning the East Sea Third Princess is not a distant warning. The Old Dream Demon Emperor said, This pill recipe has been personally verified by the East Sea Demon Emperor. It's absolutely genuine. Hiss. The West Sea Demon Emperor took a sharp breath. He immediately understood what that meant. The deceiving god Pearl at most allows the Sea Demon clan to successfully produce one Emperor realm. But one more Emperor realm cannot change the century-long fate of the West Sea being throttled by Sanking Mountain. So, does the higher value need to be explained? He gazed at Jang Fan with fiery eyes and said, "Young Master Jiang, do you confirm this pill recipe is genuine?" Jang Fan nodded. "If it is false, the southeast, west three seas may come to the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion to find me." The West Sea Demon Emperor had no more doubts, with the East Sea Demon Emperor's verification in the past, and the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion as a backer in the present. Moreover, someone as clever as Jang Fan, daring enough to make a fuss over such a big matter concerning the Four Seas clans. The consequences of lying are something he understands more than anyone. He immediately said, "Very well. Thanks to little friend Jiang's blessing, you brought such an astonishing gift to our West Sea. The deceiving god Pearl is yours." He decisively took out a crystal box that he carried with him. Inside was a reddish round pearl that looked like jade. It contained strange vortices flowing within it. It resembled some kind of text, yet also looked like inscriptions, and upon close inspection seemed like a type of trajectory. In short, it was very mysterious. Jang Fan was excited. He decisively wrote down the pill recipe and handed it to the West Sea Demon Emperor. The latter held the recipe and also compared it with the one handwritten by Yizhu Demon Emperor in Old Dream Demon Emperor's possession. After confirming that it was identical, he burst into loud laughter. "Those bastards from Sanking Mountain. Our West Sea finally doesn't have to look at your faces anymore." Then, he called the West Sea Crown Prince to his front and struck his chest. "You brat, befriending young Master Jiang is the greatest contribution you've made to the West Sea in this lifetime. I'll spare you regarding the Divinity Transformation Relics matter. In the future, maintain good relations with young Master Jiang and focus less on women." The West Sea Crown Prince felt as if he had been granted amnesty and quickly clasped his fists towards Jang Fan. "Brother Jiang, your life-saving grace is beyond repayment. Let's keep in touch often in the future." The Old Dream Demon Emperor glared at him. Upon hearing he wanted to keep in touch with Jang Fan, she was even more reluctant. With a turn of her beautiful eyes, she said, "I say, West Sea Crown Prince, don't you think you should change your form of address? Jang Fan is the sworn brother of both me and Yizhu Demon Emperor. If you also call him brother, wouldn't that put you on equal footing with us? Then wouldn't your father we have to address him as an elder?" Upon hearing this, the West Sea Demon Emperor immediately kicked the West Sea Crown Prince, unobservant fool. Then he also clasped his hands toward Jang Fan and said, "Little friend Jiang, if you don't mind, let's also become sworn brothers." Although he didn't know why both Old Dream and Yizhu Demon Emperors accepted Jang Fan as a sworn brother. But these two are shrewd characters. They wouldn't do anything without benefits. It would be a mistake not to form a brotherhood. Jang Fan naturally had no objections. He immediately raised his cup and said, "I toast." Speaking of which, he still didn't know the title of the West Sea Demon Emperor. Even the Old Dream Demon Emperor always called him West Sea Demon Emperor, West Sea Demon Emperor, as if avoiding mentioning his title. Emperor looked embarrassed and said awkwardly, "My title is the Great Sun Demon Emperor." The Old Dream Demon Emperor covered her mouth, almost unable to suppress her laughter. Even the West Sea Crown Prince was bowing his head, secretly laughing. Jang Fan blinked, full of confusion. "Brother, is there something wrong with the title Great Sun Demon Emperor? The Great Sun in Buddhism represents wisdom and enlightenment. Such a title should be excellent." The West Sea Demon Emperor grew even more embarrassed. He helplessly rubbed his bald head, bowed his head toward Jang Fan with the shiny top facing him directly. The surrounding light cast itself on this smooth head and reflected back, like a glowing little sun. Oh no, Jang Fan instantly understood. This title on someone else is a noble name. Used on the West Sea Demon Emperor, it's blatant personal offense. No wonder the Old Dream Demon Emperor avoided this title. Anyone who calls the West Sea Demon Emperor Great Sun Demon Emperor would find him chasing after them with shoe in hand. Jang Fan's lips twitched. This ancient saint's will is somewhat bullying, isn't it? The titles of the East Sea Demon Emperor and the South Sea Demon Emperor carry such beautiful meanings. One is Vast Sea Yizhu, another Jiangnan Old Dream. When it comes to brother, is it just played out like this? The West Sea Demon Emperor was touched. After so many years, finally someone spoke for him, yet he still cautiously pointed up to the sky and said, "Brother Jiang, thank you for speaking up for me. But be careful with your words. Beware of the day it might happen to you too." Jang Fan's face twitched a bit. He's indeed a little worried that when he breaks through to nascent soul, the ancient saints might mess with him. Hopefully, won't end up being called something like Rascal Master. Then he would curse right on the spot. "Let me call you Brother Zai then," Jang Fan said. The West Sea Demon Emperor nodded continuously. That's fine, that's fine. As long as it's not Great Sun Brother, any name will do." The old Dream Demon Emperor suppressed her laughter and added, "By the way, I've conferred Jang Fan as the South Sea Royal King of a foreign name." The West Sea Demon Emperor waved his hand. "Then I also confer Brother Jiang as the West Sea Royal King of a foreign name." Hence, the Dual Sea King Jang Fan was born. Jang Fan shot the old Dream Demon Emperor a grateful look. Thanks to her for gaining benefits for him. The old Dream Demon Emperor smiled lightly, feeling quite satisfied in her heart. Yet gazing at the deceiving god pearl in its hand, she couldn't help but be curious, asking, "West Sea Demon Emperor, where did this deceiving god pearl come from? Could you reveal a bit?" Her curiosity was overwhelming. It was unprecedented, and no historical records described this kind of divine pearl. As if it appeared out of thin air, the West Sea Demon Emperor smiled wryly. "I also want to know where it came from. If I tell you, you won't believe it. This deceiving god pearl fell from the sky. 100 years ago it was like this, and now it's still the same. A pearl simply dropped from nowhere. Our Sea Demon clan discovered it and sent it to the Imperial Palace." The old Dream Demon Emperor looked surprised. Jang Fan stared at the pearl in his palm in wonder. So this deceiving god pearl wasn't produced in vast sea, but came from the sky. What's going on in the endless cyan sky above? It can drop ancient giants down. And it drops this reversing deceiving god pearl too. The few people in the hall speculated about it for quite a while. The wine and feast drew to a close. Everyone, slightly tipsy, was arranged to rest and retire, wondering if it was due to the moon viewing wine. Jiang Fan's alcohol tolerance seemed much improved, and he was already sober upon reaching his room. He sat cross-legged. First, he took out the eye of the evil pupil master and began refining it. A half-day later, a bloody eyeball turned into a crystal-clear glass bead, like one carved from crystal. To facilitate use, he strung it with a sturdy rope and hung it around his neck. Having done all these, a ray of faint light shone into the guest room. The sun over the ocean must have risen high by now. While the old Dream Demon Emperor hasn't left, he ought to take care of something. West Sea Sky Prison. Usually, several late-stage core formation Realm Sea Demon clan members oversee it. Today, the first military minister Zhu Yin personally guarded this place, because a highly important prisoner is temporarily held here. The South Sea exiled Demon Emperor, Zhuo Yin. Zhuo Yin, who had already accepted his fate, quickly adapted to his prisoner status, eating and drinking as usual, humming tunes in his mouth, enjoying himself. "Zhuo Yin, it's time to come out." Zhu Yinghuan stepped forward, unlocking the chains on the cage. Upon hearing this, Zhuo Yin immediately became alert and said, "Who's here to fetch me? I won't leave with anyone besides Old Dream." He sees it clearly. Many wish for his death. Only the Old Dream Demon Emperor and the South Sea Imperial family won't let him die, so he now only trusts the Old Dream Demon Emperor. With others, he won't budge. "It's me." A clear, cold voice came. "It's the Old Dream Demon Emperor." Zhuo Yin was delighted, immediately tossing aside his wine and sprinting out of the prison. At the door, from afar he saw the graceful silhouette in a light green long dress. Who else could it be but the Old Dream Demon Emperor? Just as he was about to step out, he took another glance at the Old Dream Demon Emperor. "What are you looking at?" The Old Dream Demon Emperor frowned. Zhuo Yin examined her carefully, then relaxed. "Ha ha, I'm checking if Jang Fan, that little brat, is impersonating you. I know he can't wait to tear me apart. Seeing no bubbles on your surface, I feel relieved. That kid relies on bubbles for movement underwater." The Old Dream Demon Emperor didn't respond to him. She turned and walked toward the outside of the Imperial Palace. Zhuo Yin looked around, quickly following her, carefully scanning the surroundings. Fearful Jiang Fan might suddenly appear. After exiting the Imperial Palace, walking quite far, he breathed a sigh of relief. Laughing heartily, "Ah ha ha, I've finally escaped with my life. That Jiang Fan must be so angry he lost sleep the whole night, right?" Seeing the Old Dream Demon Emperor didn't respond, Zhuo Yin smirked and said, "Old Dream, aren't you curious about what I told your pretty boy?" I told him. "Once I return, I'll indulge in delicious food and drinks, enjoying the South Sea you helped govern. Neither you nor the Imperial family will kill me. Instead, you'll take good care of me." I also told him. I'll sleep with you every day while he can't. I'll do whatever I want, and you will bear my child, obediently giving birth to my offspring. Ha ha ha! The old dream demon emperor finally stopped, slowly turned around. Zhuo Yin expected to see old dream's furious but helpless appearance. In his lifetime, he wanted to cling onto old dream forever, like a relentless soul haunting her. Yet what made Zhuo Yin frown slightly? Old dream demon emperor's face was calm without a ripple. The words she spoke left Zhuo Yin stunned. You said all this yesterday. Zhuo Yin was suspicious. These words were meant for Jang Fan. How did old dream know? But immediately, he realized something. His pupils contracted. Staring at the old dream demon emperor before him, a terrifying thought emerged in his mind, trembling. You're not old dream. Emperor raised his finger and placed it on his lips, murmuring a spell. In an instant, a layer of shimmering light appeared on the surface of his body. Then, like a tide, it receded into the crown above his head. Without the cover of the shimmering light, a young man dressed in black, standing tall with a handsome face but a cold look in his eyes, appeared before him. Jang Fan, Zhuo Yin, as if seeing a ghost, uttered a terrified and horrified sound. What he feared most was Jang Fan assassinating him. But ironically, he had been deceived by Jang Fan to leave the West Sea Palace, following him alone to this desolate place. At this moment, no matter how much he shouted, no one could save him. Jang Fan drew the purple sword and said indifferently, It's a pity. You can't return to the South Sea. You can't be the carefree demon emperor enjoying the blessings of the South Sea. You can't toy with old dream nor let her bear your offspring. You'll only become a pile of ashes, scattered by the seawater in all directions. Zhuo Yin panicked and retreated repeatedly. Unfortunately, he stumbled over a stone and fell onto the ground. Jang Fan, let's talk it out. We can have a discussion. I no longer pose a threat to you. Why must you eradicate me completely? Jang Fan, holding the sword, walked slowly forward. You indeed pose no threat to me. But you disgust me, thinking of old dream being forced to endure being entangled with someone like you. It makes me uneasy. So, getting rid of you would make my mind clearer. Zhuo Yin's face showed panic. He deeply regretted provoking Jang Fan with his words. He quickly pleaded, Jang Fan, spare me. I'll give you old dream. She'll be your woman and you can do whatever you'd like with her. I beg you. The murderous intent in Jang Fan's eyes deepened. If not him and another strong person came along tomorrow, would Zhuo Yin offer old dream again? Old dream is truly unlucky to have someone like you. You should just turn into ashes and mingle with the rotten earth. That's where you belong. He raised the purple sword high. Zhuo Yin was scared out of his wits and hurriedly shouted, Stop! If I die, old dream won't have a rightful position as a South Sea demon emperor. Have you considered the consequence of that? Jang Fan laughed. Who said you died? You just ran away, hiding in a place where no one can find you, never returning. Old dream demon emperor for a husband who abandoned his family, loyally guarding the South Sea's foundation. Who could dispute that? Who wouldn't admire that? What? Jang Fan had even thought of this backup plan. Zhuo Yin was thoroughly panicked, but he still had a trump card, gritting his teeth. What about the descendants of the South Sea imperial family? Without me, how would old dream bear the royal lineage's children? How would she propagate the imperial family? If you truly care for old dream, you can't kill me. Jang Fan smiled. A very cold smile, he said calmly. Don't worry, I can take over this job for you. Let old dream bear my children, wouldn't that be fine? Just say you ran away, and before that you consummated with old dream, so she is carrying your child. Why not? Zhuo Yin's eyes were on the verge of tearing apart. He picked up a stone from the ground and threw it at Jang Fan, shouting, You bastard! Don't you touch my wife! She can only bear my child. Your little tricks cannot deceive the imperial lineage. Jang Fan swept away the thrown stone with his sword. He held the cold purple sword to Zhuo Yin's neck and said calmly, And if it can't be hidden? So what if they know it's old dream and my Jang Fan's child? The South Sea needs her to maintain her position. They can't do without her. So do you think they would expose her on the spot or accept it while holding their noses? You, Zhuo Yin roared in anger, because he knew everything Jang Fan said could absolutely happen. Jang Fan sneered, I occupy your woman, have her bear my son. My son would then seize what should have been your descendant, South Sea. Now I will personally kill you. Zhuo Yin, you lost. Completely and utterly lost. Ah, Zhuo Yin roared in anger, screaming insanely. Jang Fan, you are ruthless. Even if I become a ghost, I won't let you go. Jang Fan raised his sword and coldly said, Don't rush, let me send you down first. Yet Zhuo Yin raised his hand and slammed it into his own head fiercely. Want to kill me? Dream on. Smack, though he lost his cultivation, his physique remained. With one strike, he smashed his own head like a watermelon. With intense resentment, he fell straight down. Jang Fan wiped the smirk off his face, sheathed his purple sword expressionlessly, slightly shook his head. Fool! Someone as upright as Old Dream wouldn't agree to such indulgence and bearing my child, would she? If only you had a little faith in her, you wouldn't have fallen for my trap. He said those things precisely to provoke Zhu Yin into suicide, thus avoiding some troubles. Afterwards, it was simple. Jang Fan took the entire body away from the vast sea, brought it to the sea's surface and burned it to ashes, then scattered it on the spot, leaving only the invisibility kun scale from his body. After all was done, he activated the invisibility effect of the crown and quietly returned to his room. About 2 hours later, the West Sea Palace was in chaos. The West Sea Demon Emperor was alarmed. What? Someone disguised as you and took Zhu Yin away? Old Dream Demon Emperor, don't worry, I'll immediately send someone to search nearby. The Old Dream Demon Emperor's chaotic mind settled slightly. She had just gone to the prison to retrieve Zhu Yin, only to find out he was taken away by herself. At this moment, she gradually calmed down, realizing many suspicions who would rescue Zhu Yin. After being driven out of the South Sea, he held no value. Even that vixen decisively abandoned him. Moreover, who would know he was imprisoned in the West Sea prison, and who would be so familiar with what she'd been wearing the past 2 days? Disguising as her so perfectly, easily misleading Zhu Yinghuan, it seemed like it must be someone close to her. Suddenly, a figure flashed in her mind, along with a possible scenario. Moments later, the stone door to Jang Fan's room was kicked open. He woke up and sat upright, looking up to see it was the Old Dream Demon Emperor. He couldn't help but show a still drowsy expression. Old Dream, what are you doing? The Old Dream Demon Emperor entered with a grim face, saying, Did you take Zhu Yin away? Jang Fan looked bewildered. Who? Zhu Yin? What happened to him? But the Old Dream Demon Emperor didn't believe him. After searching inside and out for any clue, her expression turned grim. Did you kill him? He can't die. Jang Fan was speechless, raising 2 fingers to the sky. I swear to the heavens, if Zhu Yin was killed by me, may I be struck by lightning 5 times and never attain nascent soul in this life. Also, may I have a miserable end if I ever. The Old Dream Demon Emperor covered his mouth, showing an apologetic face. Stop talking. I didn't ask you to swear, what if it came true? Jang Fan freed himself from her hand, saying, If I didn't do it, what do I have to fear? The Old Dream Demon Emperor sat worried on the edge of the bed. If it wasn't Jang Fan, then who could it be? Seeing the Old Dream Demon Emperor so worried, he said, Old Dream, he was likely rescued by someone, wasn't he? In my view, this might actually be for the best. As long as news of his death doesn't return, you can continue presiding over the South Sea in the name of the South Sea Demon Empress, can't you? But the Old Dream Demon Emperor's brow remained furrowed. What about the heirs? There's only him left in the Old Demon Emperor lineage. Jang Fan thought for a moment and said, Old Dream Sister, why are you so obsessed with the bloodline of the Old Demon Emperor? Aren't other imperial families the same, originating from the same ancestor as the Old Demon Emperor, selecting a competent descendant to nurture from among their progeny? Will the South Sea really decline because of this? As long as the South Sea prospers, does it matter which bloodline rules the Demon Emperor? The Old Dream Demon Emperor shook her head. I promised the Old Demon Emperor. The words were left unsaid, then interrupted by Jang Fan. Old Demon Emperor, you regard him as a revered Old Demon Emperor. He only considers you a tool. He even left the true Emperor token that could entrap you to his son. At the necessary moment, he can kill you without hesitation. What's concerning is you seizing power from his son. These words made the Old Dream Demon Emperor's lips slightly purse. Involuntarily, she clutched her skirt. This indeed made her feel chilled. When they, father and son, are so unfeeling to you, why do you still care about promises? What you should care about are the tens of thousands of the South Sea Demon clan. What you should consider is who will succeed the South Sea after 100 years, instead of thinking about continuing the lineage for this selfish father and son. Understand? Foolish woman. Jang Fan knocked on her forehead hard. The Old Dream Demon Emperor, feeling the pain, covered her forehead and raised her fist, ready to retaliate. But before Jang Fan's chest, she changed to a gentle poke. You little thing, even teaching me a lesson now, she chided with a smile. Jang Fan said with a sullen face, Then do you still want to find Zhuo Yin, delight under him, and bear him children? The Old Dream Demon Emperor blushed and quickly looked around, whispering, You, what indecent words are you saying? Seeing Jang Fan wordlessly staring at her. She helplessly made a choice, sighing a heavy relief. All right, I won't look for him anymore. Let him die for all I care. Between the old demon emperor's will and the South Sea, the latter is more important. Let's consider that I broke the promise. As long as the South Sea is doing well, even if my heart bears more guilt, it's worth it. Jang Fan took a long breath. Finally persuaded this woman. It really wasn't easy. Then quickly notify the West Sea Demon Emperor, don't waste any effort anymore. In the future, just let Zhuo Yin be. Soon after, the West Sea returned to peace. And Jang Fan and the old Dream Demon Emperor, too, stood before a coral reef to say goodbye. Jang Fan, thank you. You've helped me greatly in every aspect. Jang Fan replied, it was just a convenience, old Dream Sister, you don't have to mind it. With a faint hint of reluctance in her eyes, the old Dream Demon Emperor said, then we part ways here. Take care. Jang Fan nodded. You too. Live a little more freely in the future, don't be so tired. The old Dream Demon Emperor waved her hand, standing in place, quietly watching Jang Fan turn around. Suddenly, she noticed the bubbles around Jang Fan had disappeared. How was Jang Fan breathing underwater? Could he have the Sea Demon clan's forbidden item, the water-repelling pearl? But why did he suddenly switch from bubbles to the water-repelling pearl? Is there any difference? Both have the same effect. In an instant, she understood using the water-repelling pearl he could better disguise himself as her. Those bubbles were obviously not something the Sea Demon clan would use. Recalling that Zhuo Yin had been tricked out, she knew where Zhuo Yin went. He was tricked by Jang Fan and killed. As for the reason, Zhuo Yin posed no threat to Jang Fan. There was no need for such a troublesome method to kill him. The only reason could be to help her resolve her troubles. It turned out, after she confided her troubles about bringing Zhuo Yin back to the South Sea, Jang Fan had already decided in his heart to help her. But she mistakenly thought Jang Fan didn't understand her pain and was dismissive by saying everything would sort itself out when the time comes. In reality, Jang Fan was silently helping her completely get rid of Zhuo Yin so she could govern the South Sea in peace. He was silently lighting up a moonlit path for her, so her path ahead would no longer be dark and bleak. A profound emotion turned into a trace of moisture rolling in her eyes. Jang Fan, she called out. Jang Fan turned around in surprise and said, what's He didn't have time to react. A silhouette in light green occupied his vision. Immediately his cheeks were cupped. A soft yet slightly cold sensation blossomed at his lips. Jang Fan was stunned. After a while, the old Dream Demon Emperor parted with a smile on her face, tears in her eyes, and a long regret in her heart. How good would it have been if I met you 20 years ago? Jang Fan couldn't believe it. The moisture on his lips brought him back to his senses. Slightly panicked, he said, old Dream Sister, you... The old Dream Demon Emperor smiled through tears. Just think of it as me being willful once. Little man, thank you. Thank you for lighting a candle by my window, illuminating the world outside. She released Jang Fan, slowly retreating. Thank you, Jang Fan. Thank you, little brother. With that, she turned into a graceful shadow, disappearing into the distant sea water. A single call of Jang Fan was filled with the regret of meeting too late. A call of little brother was full of the helplessness of the moon's phases. Jang Fan was left bewildered for a long time. After a long time, he sighed gently and began heading north. Not all flowers bloom for the sake of bearing fruit. The blooming of a trace of dark fragrance, to cherish this page of time in the heart, leaving life in lingering thoughts. Days later, Jang Fan left the West Sea territory. He emerged from the sea, looking around the sea surface. Confirming there were no rainbows or other strange things, then he came out. He stepped on a flying sword in midair, drying his clothes with spiritual power, breathing in the moist sea breeze, inhaling the long-missed air. He couldn't help but sigh, the outside world is indeed better. Just as the words fell, crack, a deafening thunderbolt struck without warning into the vast sea ahead. The thunder was so intense, it was like firecrackers exploding right beside his ears. His ears immediately lost all sound, humming away. His internal chi and blood were also agitated like roaring waves. His body was instantly shook and fell into the vast sea. Traces of blood seeped out from his ears and nose. In the distance, where the thunderbolt fell, the waves surged sky-high. Countless fish and shrimp rolled out. Instantly, many perished or were injured. Jang Fan was left bewildered. What kind of thunder is this? He himself practiced thunder Dao divine power and had once manipulated numerous heavenly thunder at the Boundary Mountain. But never had any thunderbolt been as terrifying as the one before him. Just being slightly closer had caused him internal injuries. After a while, he gradually came to. It was then he noticed the sky at some point had become overcast with rolling clouds, thunder and lightning flashing. A series of astonished voices suddenly came from the sky. It was two human clan nascent soul experts traversing the void. Their attires were different, obviously experts from Taikang State. Strange. Someone is undergoing a tribulation here. The demon power soars to the sky. It must be the demon race. Quickly go and see, this person's heavenly tribulation is exceedingly strong. I think it's precarious. Transcending a tribulation. Demon power, North Sea. Jang Fan's heart skipped a beat. Could it be the sea charm or concubine Xianxia? Jang Fan dared not hesitate. He swallowed a revitalizing pill and immediately followed far behind the two human clan nascent souls. They did not travel quickly. It seemed they were also wary of the occasional heavenly tribulation falling from the sky. After a full 300 miles, a curtain of lightning met the eyes. At the horizon, celadon-colored heavenly lightning rained down like a torrential downpour, densely pouring onto an island reef on the sea's surface. The pale thunder light illuminated the dim sky covered by dark clouds, flashing intermittently. The deafening thunder roared like the earth-shattering cries of collapsing heavens, chaotically intertwining. Across dozens of miles, Jang Fan's blood surged within his body, uncontrollably trembling. An unspeakable fear welled up in his heart. Boom, suddenly. A bolt of heavenly lightning broke off and fell several miles away from Jang Fan. The monstrous wave it raised, mixed with destructive thunder breath, instantly toppled Jang Fan into the sea. Cough, cough. Climbing up, he coughed up a mouthful of fresh blood. Looking towards the distant thunder curtain, he showed deep fear. Is this the heavenly tribulation? He had always heard that the nascent soul tribulation was a 9 deaths and 1 life ordeal. He never had a clear concept until now. Finally, he understood the power of heaven and earth. The concept of 9 deaths and 1 life. This is something that a core formation realm martial artist can withstand. It's too dangerous. He fixed his gaze on that island reef. Under the pouring of countless terrifying heavenly lightning, a figure struggled bitterly in the thunder light. His clothes had turned into scorched rags. His whole body was bloody and mangled. No part of his skin was intact, with bones exposed from the cracked flesh. Finally, he couldn't hold on. Under the striking of a heavenly lightning thicker than his waist, he finally fell, yet the heavenly lightning did not stop. Like a fierce tiger ready to devour people, it continued to strike. The helpless figure was instantly blasted into a humanoid charcoal, limbs broken, resembling a charred ragdoll. Heavenly lightning still did not stop, roaring as it continued its onslaught, determined to leave no remains. At this moment, a mournful howl came from the distance. It was a middle-aged man exuding the aura of a demon emperor. Tearfully charging forward, he used his body to shield that charcoal figure. He himself was struck by heavenly lightning, skin blooming, body charred and blackened, without a doubt. That was the North Sea demon emperor. The one crossing the tribulation must have been a prince who had reached perfection in the tribulation crossing realm and had luckily obtained a breakthrough opportunity. Though sure, it wasn't sea charm or concubine Xianxia. Yet Jang Fan did not relax. This heavenly tribulation was too terrifying. Can they really make it through? This prince before him, if not for the North Sea demon emperor's intervention, would have already been pulverized under heavenly lightning. The cruelty of 9 deaths and 1 life materialized at this moment. Jang Fan? A familiar, surprised voice came from not far away. Jang Fan snapped back to reality, glanced around, seeing no one. Here, upon hearing the voice from nearby below, Jang Fan looked down, only to see a woman around 30 with quite graceful features swiftly swimming up from the seabed. Upon closer inspection, shadows loomed in the deep sea. It turned out many were watching the tribulation nearby. However, they were all from the Sea Demon clan, watching the tribulation from the sea. Only Jang Fan, a single human clan member, stood out starkly in the air. Jang Fan, how come it's you? Did the Sky Demon Emperor spare you? The female sea demon swam up, showing a hint of joy. She was none other than Mu Ziyu. Jang Fan chuckled, "What can the Sky Demon Emperor do to me?" Seeing Jang Fan unharmed, Mu Ziyu was thrilled, but upon hearing him brag, she rolled her eyes. "The Sky Demon Emperor just left. Dare you catch up and say hello?" The Sky Demon Emperor was here. This guy must have sensed someone crossing tribulation. Just came to see if it was someone from his mainland demon clan. He's really strict about preventing his clan members from breaking through to the Demon Emperor realm. He even came to the North Sea to verify when someone was crossing tribulation. Jang Fan was increasingly worried about concubine Xianxia and Sea Charm's tribulation. Even with opportunities and Beihai Pill, they might not succeed. Look at you, terrified to even respond. Mu Ziyu emerged from the water, chuckled softly, curious. Why did you come here? Jang Fan wryly smiled. Walking on the road, almost struck by lightning, how could I not come to have a look? Puff, Mu Ziyu giggled. Really? We were so close and nothing happened. You were miles away and got struck. Must be you've sworn too many oaths, heaven couldn't tolerate it. Jang Fan rubbed his nose. Speaking of which, this was indeed mysterious. A bolt of heavenly lightning shot out, uncannily almost hit Jang Fan a few hundred miles away. This heavenly lightning probably had eyes. More coincidentally, he had just resurfaced saying it was better outside. The heavenly lightning came, he felt deliberately targeted, recalling how he voiced support for the great sun demon emperor not long ago. Heart skipped a beat. Oh my goodness. Could it be so effective? He quickly clasped his hands. Ancient saint, I was wrong. The great sun demon emperor's title, wonderful choice, truly great. I've been respectful, please spare me. Now he understood what unpredictable heavenly power meant. It was truly terrifying. Mu Ziyu looked at Jang Fan's prayer-like gestures, muttered. So strange. Since you're unharmed, that's good. No more talk, I'm heading back to the Imperial Palace. The Crown Prince failed to break through to Demon Emperor, life unknown, big trouble is brewing. Take care, leave the North Sea soon. Unknown nascent soul cultivators are everywhere these days. Not advisable to stay alone outside for long. With that, she was about to dive back into the sea, but Jang Fan stopped her. Wait, I happen to have business here in North Sea too. He gestured to his forehead, a faint blue flame mark flickering. Mu Ziyu realized. You're planning to enter the Divine Transformation Relics, huh? No wonder you came to North Sea. But you need to wait for now, we still don't know the Crown Prince's situation. If he's already fallen, and the old demon emperor is steeped in grief, it's not the right time to mention the Divine Transformation Relics. Jang Fan thought, then said, Take me with you. I have some top-quality healing spirit pills from the human clan. They might help. Mu Ziyu considered it, then said, All right, follow me. In reality, North Sea had prepared many healing spirit pills in anticipation of the failure. Jang Fan's were not lacking, but he showed such good intentions, it'd be hard to refuse. And plus, seeing a human clan coming to aid, the demon emperor would feel more comforted. Jang Fan thought, then asked, Do you have diving bubbles? Using water-repelling pearl in North Sea, if someone asks too much, it might implicate you. Mu Ziyu felt a warm feeling. This guy actually thought of her. She promptly took out a bubble crystal and tossed it to him. Coming to North Sea, I have to provide bubbles. Really a debt from a past life. Jang Fan smiled, crushed the bubble, and jumped into the sea, together with her heading towards the Imperial Palace. Sister Mu, isn't North Sea currently harassed by unknown beings, exhausted in dealing with them? Why choose to cross tribulation at this time? Jang Fan asked curiously. Because of the creatures that emerged from the Divine Transformation Relics attacking them, even the North Sea Demon Emperor had no time to deal with the Hell Beast. At this moment, why such spare time for a clan member to break through nascent soul? And clearly the Crown Prince's preparation seemed insufficient, appearing quite rushed. Mu, you get benefits, then call her sister. What a real opportunist. Mu Ziyu rolled her eyes, but when she heard Jang Fan's question, her mood became heavy again. She hesitated slightly for a moment. Sighing, she said, It's not a secret since the breakthrough has already happened. There's no harm in telling you. Wasn't Bai Chu taken away by the Dharma Seal Vajra? Jang Fan nodded. He naturally knew about this. Mu Ziyu said, Our demon emperor went to Taikang State, seeking support from our backers to demand Bai Chu from White Horse Temple. White Horse Temple didn't agree. They compensated us Beihai with a mysterious spiritual spring, saying it would give our Beihai demon clan another chance to become a demon emperor. Jang Fan remained silent. A prodigy transformed by the Dharma Seal Vajra, an opportunity to break through to demon emperor. It's hard to say which holds more significance for Beihai. Of course, Beihai had no choice. The fact that White Horse Temple was willing to compensate was already out of respect for Beihai's backers. If the North Sea Demon Emperor had personally gone to ask, there would be no chance of leaving again. As Mu Ziyu spoke, anger gradually surfaced on her face. But the news leaked. Someone took advantage of the chaos in Beihai to destroy the spiritual spring. Although the Demon Emperor quickly intervened, the water within that assists breakthroughs was rapidly losing its spiritual essence. There was no choice but to let the unprepared Crown Prince rush into action. And as you saw, the results were as expected. Jang Fan slightly shook his head as he listened. In this world, even a giant like White Horse Temple would find aiding someone to achieve nascent soul troublesome. But destroying someone's path to nascent soul, that's unbelievably easy. No one wants to see your Beihai have a second demon emperor. You should have been prepared for this. With a stern expression, Mu Ziyu said, "We were already guarding strictly, but someone still precisely found a loophole. Let us find them. Otherwise, this account will certainly be settled." In his heart, Jang Fan thought, "Do you even need to investigate? The demon emperor should be as clear as a mirror, just pretending not to know." Who would be most directly affected by the Beihai giving birth to a second demon emperor? The other three Cs. Sanking Mountain. But the Yizhu demon emperor and Old Dream demon emperor have been too preoccupied with their own troubles to plot against Beihai. The West Sea demon emperor still needs his son to rely on Beihai's Divinity Transformation Relics. If he wanted to act, he'd wait until his son finished visiting the relics, right? So the answer emerges. Sanking Mountain. To prevent Beihai from gaining strength and breaking free of constraints, they sent someone to destroy the divine spring. Judging by the despicable acts they've committed in the East Sea and South Sea, this fits perfectly with their way of doing things. Not long after, Jang Fan met the Beihai Crown Prince. Fortunately, he was still alive, but unfortunately, he was barely recognizable. Not only did he resemble a piece of charcoal, but his body was riddled with wounds, incomplete and devastated, barely breathing. Had it not been for the North Sea Demon Emperor's intervention at the last moment, he would have been obliterated, both form and spirit. Jang Fan increasingly realized the preciousness of the deceiving god pearl. If the Beihai Crown Prince had the pearl, he could have paused the tribulation when things seemed to go awry. Wait until fully prepared to try again. Demon Emperor, this is Jang Fan of the Human Clan, here specifically to visit the Crown Prince. Mu Ziyu led Jang Fan forward. The North Sea Demon Emperor, guarding by the bedside, was covered in blood and didn't bother with his appearance. His eyes, full of guilt, gazed at the barely living Crown Prince. Upon hearing, he turned his head slightly and nodded. "You're the Jiang Fan who defeated Bai Chu, our clan's Bai Chu, right? Thank you. Take this young master to the guest hall to rest." Just as expected. The North Sea Demon Emperor was in a heavy mood, so Jiang Fan's request to enter the relics at this time would be inappropriate. He could only wait until the Crown Prince was healed to mention it again. "Demon Emperor, I am Jiang Fan, a disciple of the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion and the sworn brother of the three Demon Emperors of the East Sea, West Sea, and South Sea. Here on behalf of the human clan and representing the three Seas to visit the Crown Prince." Oh, the North Sea Demon Emperor had barely paid attention to Jiang Fan. Hearing the last sentence, even his furrowed brows couldn't help but rise. A sworn brother of the Demon Emperors, and three of them. Are those three Demon Emperors so easily swayed to form brotherhoods? He looked towards Mu Ziyu, silently questioning the truth with his eyes. To his surprise, Mu Ziyu was wide-eyed and speechless, even more astonished than he was. No, when did Jiang Fan start making such waves in the vast sea? He has even formed brotherhoods with three Demon Emperors. The North Sea Demon Emperor had doubts in his heart, but was much more polite on the surface. "So it's little friend Jiang. Thank you for visiting my son." With that, he sighed dejectedly. "You've seen a joke. He failed to break through to become a Demon Emperor and ended up in such an embarrassing state." Jiang Fan said earnestly. In the face of such vast heavenly power, the Crown Prince hurried into battle and dared to confront it, already a commendable show of courage. "I admire him sincerely. How dare I laugh?" Moreover, breaking through to the nascent soul of a Demon Emperor is inherently a path of 9 deaths and 1 life. Failure is the norm, success is just accidental. What is embarrassing about it? Upon hearing these words, the North Sea Demon Emperor's eyes suddenly became moist as he looked at the Crown Prince, who was about to perish, and his voice was choked with emotion. "My son, did you hear that? A little friend from the human clan says that even though you failed, you are still honorable and not disgraceful. You will always be your father's pride." Mu Ziyu's eyes turned slightly red. Before taking the spring water, what the Crown Prince cared about most was not whether he would die, but rather whether his failure would bring shame to the North Sea. She couldn't bear to see the Demon Emperor saddened. Turning around, she said, "Young Master Jiang, let me take you to the guest pavilion to rest." Jiang Fan was also slightly moved. He could feel the North Sea Demon Emperor's remorse and sorrow. For the sake of the North Sea, his son hastily embarked on a path of 9 deaths and 1 life. Then he watched with his own eyes as his son was nearly obliterated under the heavenly thunder. Those thunders struck the Crown Prince's body, and they also struck his heart. He glanced at the bottles and jars of healing substances by the bed. They were indeed quite impressive. Most of them seemed to have been used already, but the Crown Prince's injuries had not been effectively alleviated. Looking again at the Demon Emperor's expression, he had probably already prepared himself for the Crown Prince's death. Jang Fan immediately took out a revitalizing pill and said, "Demon Emperor, we in the human clan have some decent healing pills. This one is called the Revitalizing Pill. As long as there is one breath left, it can successfully prolong life. Perhaps the Demon Emperor can let the Crown Prince try it." The North Sea Demon Emperor, holding back murky tears, turned to look at the revitalizing pill in Jang Fan's palm, hoarsely saying, "Thank you, little friend. My son has used many medicines already. It's useless." He had already lost heart. With the healing materials gathered with the whole power of the North Sea proving ineffective, how could the medicine of a human youth be of help? Jang Fan said, "Demon Emperor, just try it. We in the human clan have an unpleasant saying, apply a living horse doctor to a dead horse. What if it works?" The North Sea Demon Emperor thought for a moment, then accepted the pill. He was just about to give it to the Crown Prince. At this moment, a flamboyant woman came running in urgently. Demon Emperor, the 100 Herbs Master from Shenan Cliff has arrived." Hearing this, the North Sea Demon Emperor's eyes flashed with an intense light, filled with tremendous hope. "Quick, quick, invite him." Mu Ziyu also showed a look of surprise. "The Crown Prince is saved." She couldn't help but cheer. The noble lady noticed she was also present, and her expression turned stern. "What are you doing here? Get out." Mu Ziyu's face stiffened, and she immediately backed out of the ward, respectfully saying, "Yes, Empress." The noble lady in front of her was no other than the Beihai Empress. She seemed to have quite an opinion about Mu Ziyu. With a sweeping glance from her phoenix eyes, she landed on Jang Fan, saying, "Are you my son's friend?" The North Sea Demon Emperor picked up the conversation and said, "Little friend Jiang, please follow Ziyu to the guest pavilion to rest." As he spoke, he casually placed the revitalizing pill among the pile of healing pills without intending to use it. Seeing that his pill was not cherished, Jang Fan frowned slightly and said, "Demon Emperor, if you don't need this pill, please return it to me, since they trust the 100 Herbs Master. Then let them be. If it can heal, that's good. I save a revitalizing pill. If he dies, it cannot be blamed on me for not saving him." The North Sea Demon Emperor was slightly stunned. Returning a pill that was given away? Could it be that this pill is very precious? He regretted casually handling this spirit pill. But the others spoke up and wanted him to go back. He could only pick up the revitalizing pill and return it to Jang Fan. Taking back the spirit pill, Jang Fan turned around and left. Once he walked far away, the Empress slightly frowned. "Demon Emperor, who is this human clan? Why did you stop me from asking questions earlier?" She was inquiring about Jang Fan's background, but the Demon Emperor interrupted her and asked Mu Ziyu to take him away. After confirming, Jang Fan walked off. The North Sea Demon Emperor then said, "It's a friend brought by Mu Ziyu named Jang Fan, the one who defeated Bai Chu on the spot." The Empress suddenly showed displeasure. "So it's this little wretch's friend. No wonder so disrespectful, taking back the pills that were given as a gift. Really not afraid of losing the face of the human clan." The North Sea Demon Emperor frowned, softly rebuked. "Enough, say no more. After all, the person came to see the Crown Prince, don't be too harsh." The reason he made Jang Fan leave was because of this. Bai Chu was a member of the Empress's lineage. During the visit to the mainland demon clan, Bai Chu ended up getting transformed away. The main envoy responsible for escorting them and the 4 deputy envoys, how could the Empress not blame them? She advocated putting Yu Qingshuan and Mu Ziyu and the 4 deputy envoys into the heavenly prison. But the North Sea Demon Emperor pardoned them. This time, it's no wonder Yu Qingshuan and the others couldn't protect properly. How formidable was the Dharma Seal Vajra, an elite expert even in Taikang state. He himself escorting might not even have been able to protect Bai Chu, let alone Yu Qingshuan and the others. The Empress was angry but didn't dare confront the White Horse Temple and naturally vented on Yu Qingshuan and Mu Ziyu with the 4 deputy envoys. "You just know how to protect outsiders," the Empress said angrily. "If it weren't for them, would Bai Chu have gotten transformed? Without Bai Chu transformed, then where would the matter of the divine spring come from? How could the prince end up like this now? If the prince dies, I would make them 5 pay with their lives." As she spoke, her eyes began to sparkle with tears. Full of hatred, the North Sea Demon Emperor's face turned cold. Seeing the couple about to argue, a young palace maid respectfully led a human clan nascent soul here. He was 80 years old, wearing a slightly worn white robe. His skin was slightly dark. His expression wasn't very kind but not malicious either. A presence you wouldn't look at twice in a crowd. Yet he was the famous medical path nascent soul of Taikang State, 100 Herbs Master. He once treated a Divinity Transformation realm, suffered from its serious injury, successfully advancing to nascent soul. Thus gained fame as Taikang State's first divine doctor. I sincerely thank 100 Herbs Master for coming over thousands of miles to aid. The North Sea Demon Emperor deeply bowed, infinitely grateful. 100 Herbs Master carried the medicine chest, waved his hand, and said, "Let's not dwell on idle talk. The Crown Prince's injury is somewhat troublesome." He had already seen the North Sea Crown Prince on the bed. His expression immediately turned serious. Separating the Demon Emperor and Empress, he quickly came to the bedside. He put down the medicine chest, instantly performed divine skills, brushing over his eyes. His eyes immediately flashed with a strange green glow, scanning the Crown Prince's body. In just a moment, he shook his head, picked up the medicine chest again, showing no intention to continue the treatment. The North Sea Demon Emperor's face, just overflowing with great expectation, turned into uneasiness. "Master, my son," 100 Herbs Master slightly shook his head. "Can't cure an incurable disease. The Crown Prince's wound is already beyond the scope of medical skills. Bones within the body are all shattered, internal organs destroyed by thunder. The heart is also failing and shattered. Life force is completely gone, only 2 or 3 breaths remaining. Even with my intervention, it would merely prolong his life slightly. Utterly meaningless. Better let him end sooner. To avoid more torment, what?" The Empress collapsed by the bedside, holding the Crown Prince's bloody hand tearfully. "My son," sob, full of anticipation, the North Sea Demon Emperor, tears welled up again, silently began crying. Originally thought, inviting 100 Herbs Master here could save his son. Unexpectedly, he too found it difficult to continue. 100 Herbs Master, accustomed to such scenes, calmly said, "Wounds from heavenly tribulations often lead to death. I've encountered many injured by heavenly tribulations, but less than half could be saved. The Crown Prince was unlucky. Demon Emperor, please accept my condolences." He sighed slightly in his heart. Long before the Crown Prince attempted the breakthrough, he had received the North Sea Demon Clan's request, asking him to come in case of emergency. But the injuries were too severe. The North Sea Demon Emperor was crying like rain, crying even more than the Empress did, chokingly said, "Master, is there really no way? Medical skill fails, then what about various spirit pills?" 100 Herbs Master said indifferently. "High-tier medical skills long ago were inseparable from pills. I am a 3-star soul master. If there were a spirit pill that could heal, wouldn't I bring it out? Most injuries of high-tier martial artists are beyond ordinary medicine and acupuncture. It requires more potent pills in cooperation. Without the auxiliary ability of a soul master, it's difficult to become a skilled doctor." Upon hearing this, the North Sea Demon Emperor couldn't hold back, burst into tears, knelt before him, gazed at the medicine chest that 100 Herbs Master never opened. "Master, please try to figure out some way. The North Sea is willing to pay any cost to exchange for my son's life." 100 Herbs Master laughed angrily. The North Sea Demon Emperor thought he had some means but was reluctant to bring it out, aiming for benefits. Immediately huffed coldly, "I can't save. You can ask a Divinity Transformation expert to use essence blood to save him, or find one of the ancient 9 healing spirit pills." The North Sea Demon Emperor was full of tears. Where to find a Divinity Transformation expert in the North Sea, and how to invite them to help with essence blood. As for the ancient 9 healing spirit pills, be ancient means it long lost. In today's era, where else would it exist? The North Sea Demon Emperor said bitterly, "Ancient healing spirit pills, where do we find them? Even if we find the news, my son would have long stopped breathing." 100 Herbs Master slightly shook his head. "Other ancient spirit pills perhaps truly have no place to find. But on the land behind you recently I've heard some rumor. An ancient spirit pill appeared on the battlefield. Coming a long way to the North Sea this time, first is to prepare treatment for your Crown Prince's breakthrough injuries. Then also to check that continent's rumor is true." A continent does. The North Sea Demon Emperor's eyes slightly brightened, soon turned dim again. Even if true, then what? The Crown Prince simply couldn't wait for him to fetch it. Fearing, before stepping on the continent, the Crown Prince would have already expired. Seeing his current look, 100 Herbs Master said no more. Carrying the medicine chest said, "Please accept my condolences. You can go to the continent nearby afterward to find that spirit pill. Store one and prevent similar events in the future." The North Sea Demon Emperor cried speechlessly. The Empress asked tearfully, "Master, may I ask the name of this pill and what shape does it take?" Herbs Master pondered. "I only read about it in ancient books. The size of a baby's thumb, entirely emerald green in color. Its name is Revitalizing Pill. Farewell." He walked away without looking back. This time he intended to cure the Beihai Crown Prince and ask for an opportunity to enter the Divinity Transformation Relics. Unfortunately, it was a wasted trip. He didn't notice at all. The North Sea Demon Emperor behind him gradually stopped crying. In disbelief, he said, "What did the master just say the name of the ancient healing elixir was?" The Empress, her eyes filled with tears, replied, "Revitalizing Pill." "What's wrong?" The North Sea Demon Emperor trembled violently. The pill Jang Fan gave him was also called the Revitalizing Pill, wasn't it? Recalling its appearance, it was the size of a baby's thumb and entirely emerald green. And Jang Fan came from the land behind them. He quickly wiped away his tears and, trembling, rushed outside. The Empress cried with tears, "It's about to be the last moment with our son." "Where are you going?" The North Sea Demon Emperor, overcome with emotion, said, "Revitalizing Pill. I must seek the Revitalizing Pill. The spirit pill just given by little friend Jiang was the Revitalizing Pill." Ah, the Empress suddenly stood up, her face changed dramatically. Recalling carefully, wasn't the spirit pill that Jang Fan took back exactly as described by the 100 Herbs Master? She was overjoyed and hurriedly chased after him. Guest hall. "Sister Mu, have you offended the Empress?" Seeing Mu Ziyu's face looking rather unwell, Jang Fan asked. Mu Ziyu poured Jang Fan a cup of tea, her face filled with bitterness. "Bai Chu is a descendant of the Empress's lineage." Oh. With just that sentence, Jang Fan understood. No wonder the Empress's attitude towards Mu Ziyu was so poor. No wonder the North Sea Demon Emperor hurriedly sent him away as well. If the Empress knew that he was brought by Mu Ziyu, she would undoubtedly make some sarcastic remarks, making things uncomfortable for him too. "It's just bad luck on your part coming across the Dharma Seal Vajra. No one else could have protected Bai Chu anyway," Jang Fan consoled. Mu Ziyu smiled bitterly. "I would rather the Demon Emperor punish me to appease the Empress and Bai Chu's elders." While they were chatting idly, laughter came from outside the guest hall. "It's an honor to have you, Master, visiting. Forgive us for not welcoming you earlier." A middle-aged Sea Demon clan member, dressed elegantly, with several spikes on his head and a powerful aura, warmly introduced a guest to the hall. Seeing who it was, Mu Ziyu tensed up immediately. Wanting to leave the guest hall, it was already too late. She could only stand silently next to Jang Fan. "Are you afraid of him?" Jang Fan asked in surprise. Mu Ziyu replied bitterly, "One of the 7 great demon kings of North Sea, Beihai, Master used Nemesis. A member of Bai Chu's clan." This identity, every point, was troublesome for Mu Ziyu. Jang Fan curiously looked over. That Beihai called him Master. He must be a nascent soul expert of the human clan, right? Soon, the person stepped into the guest hall. His right arm was missing, wearing a black eye patch over his right eye. He was a nascent soul expert with a disabled body. Jang Fan's eyes narrowed. Without noticeable action, he touched the double pupils hidden in his clothes. The visitor was none other than Evil Pupil Master. Indeed, the Evil Pupil Master, having tricked his way into obtaining the Divinity Transformation Relic mark, would certainly not abandon it. And upon entering the guest hall, the Evil Pupil Master's gaze swept around and also noticed Jang Fan's presence, immediately recognizing him and coldly said, "It's you." Jang Fan waved with a smile. "Evil Pupil Master, where in life do you not meet again? What happened to your hand?" "What about your eye?" The Evil Pupil Master angrily said. "You little brat. Do you have the face to ask?" He ended up in such a state. Wasn't it all thanks to Jang Fan? Without that strange power of his at the end, pulling him down from the sky, would he have lost his arm? And without losing his arm, would the West Sea Demon Emperor have easily gouged out his eyeball? This guy was the culprit. Mu Ziyu's mouth twitched. Why did Jang Fan, after dealing with the Demon Emperor, provoke a human clan nascent soul as well? She half-shielded Jang Fan behind her, saying sternly, "Evil Pupil Master, this is the Beihai Palace." The Evil Pupil Master just stared intently at Jang Fan. He came here to enter the Divinity Transformation Relics, naturally knowing not to act rashly here. Beihai slightly frowned. The evil pupil master was a distinguished guest of Sanking Mountain. This visit should not be mishandled. Then seeing Mu Ziyu, he narrowed his eyes. Presumptuous! How dare you talk to a master like that? Mu Ziyu pressed her lips together. Feeling guilty towards their Bai family line, she remained silent. Beihai Crown glanced at her. He cupped his hands towards the evil pupil master, saying, Master, calm down. This obtuse thing, I will petition the demon emperor to send her to the frontier, to avoid bringing shame to our North Sea. The evil pupil master glanced at her askance. Seeing she was with Jang Fan, he blandly said, The threshold of your North Sea is high. Even a nascent soul must heed a little sea demon's call. Beihai Crown realized this was not good. He had angered the evil pupil master. Already displeased with Mu Ziyu, he became even more dissatisfied. Mu Ziyu, are you doing this on purpose? Harming Bai Chu isn't enough. Do you want to bring more calamity to North Sea? Why aren't you coming over to kneel and admit your fault to the evil pupil master? Mu Ziyu pressed her lips together tight. Feeling a bit flustered, her small hands clutched her skirt hem, appearing a bit at a loss. When did she shout? She was merely reminding the evil pupil master, who knew such a great nascent soul would elevate the situation, making it difficult for a junior like her. Deaf, Beihai Crown sternly said, if you anger the master, do you know how the Empress will punish you? Your entire tribe will be implicated. If it was just her being punished, Mu Ziyu could endure it. But upon hearing it would affect her tribe, she could no longer hold on. With gritted teeth, she was about to walk over. However, just as she moved, Jang Fan grabbed her arm and gently pulled her back. Jang Fan gently set down his teacup and calmly said, White Demon King, be at ease. The evil pupil master painstakingly obtained the Divinity Transformation Relic mark. Even if you chase him away, he won't leave. How could he not see their target was not Mu Ziyu, but him, Jang Fan? There's no reason for him to shrink back while allowing Mu Ziyu to suffer humiliation. Beihai Crown coldly looked at Jang Fan. Who are you? Jang Fan pointed to the tea on the table. Can't you tell? I'm a guest of your North Sea. Mu Ziyu is hosting me well. You bossing her around, even making her kneel. Why the evil pupil master is a guest and I'm not? Beihai Crown suspiciously scrutinized Jang Fan. My eyes are dull. Who might you be? Mu Ziyu, seeing Jang Fan standing up for her, was deeply moved. She gathered her courage and said, Standing before you is the sworn brother of the East, South, and West Sea Demon Emperors. The future son-in-law of the Sky Demon Emperor. The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master's most prideful disciple. The strongest prodigy of the human clan, Jang Fan. Jang Fan's eyelids twitched slightly. Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master's most favored disciple. Did you ask the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master about this? Mu Ziyu gave Jang Fan a reassuring look. Outside, identities are self-given. Don't panic. Beihai Crown was stunned. Just hearing about the sworn brother of the 3C Demon Emperor made his heart pound. This identity is explosive. Evil pupil master narrowed his eyes, the sworn brother of the 3C Demon Emperor. Through a member of the Little People clan. He didn't understand other demon emperors, but the old dream demon emperor, such a conservative woman, wouldn't form random relationships. White Demon King, are you scared? Beihai Crown snapped back to his senses. He was caught in a dilemma. He didn't want to offend anyone. Forced to make a choice, he bit his lip and said, Young Master Jiang, this is none of your business. I'm disciplining my own clansmen. After saying that, he glared viciously at Mu Ziyu. I don't want to repeat myself. Come here. Stop using the guest as a shield. Mu Ziyu gritted her teeth slightly, attempting to break free from Jang Fan. But the current Jang Fan is not what he used to be. How could she easily break free from him? Jang Fan calmly looked at Beihai Crown and said, If you want to please Sanking Mountain, you can kneel yourself, kneel however you like. I might still see you as someone who knows how to be flexible. But wanting to please others without kneeling yourself, forcing your clansmen to suffer this humiliation. That's truly disgraceful. Doesn't the Sea Demon clan know what Sanking Mountain is? To oppress their own clansmen to please others. Should we call it pathetic or say Beihai Crown is up to no good? Who is trying to please? Beihai Crown became anxious, because it struck him at his core. Jang Fan had already escalated it to a personal attack. He couldn't be polite anymore. Kid, I don't care who you are as a guest. In my North Sea, publicly humiliating a demon king, you don't have the right. Please leave. Thank you. Heh. Speaking the truth is considered humiliation. Then what about the humiliating things you're doing? Jang Fan still sat boldly, handing his empty teacup to the anxious Mu Ziyu. The tea is finished and no one thought of refilling it. If you serve guests like this, be careful I report to the Demon Emperor. Beihai Crown had already issued a guest removal order. How could Jang Fan still think about tea? Zhu was about to cry from anxiety. As she took the teacup to pour water, her mind raced for solutions. Don't be nervous. He can't kick me out. Even if the Empress comes, it won't work, Jang Fan calmly said. He held the cold cicada silence pill recipe. Since the 3 Cs gave it, the North Sea naturally could too. With this pill recipe, no matter how much the Empress cared for Bai Chu, she should know the priorities right. Heh, Beihai Crown sneered. I can't kick you out. He became angry. In front of the Sanking Mountain evil pupil master if he couldn't even handle a junior who offended him. How could he continue to gain trust from Sanking Mountain in the future? I don't want to make a move on a guest. So, kid, you have 3 breaths to walk out of the guest hall yourself. Otherwise, I will personally escort you. Upon hearing this, Zhu's hand trembled, causing water to spill out of the teacup. Jang Fan casually held her arm, stabilizing her to continue pouring tea. Expressionless, he said, to please evil pupil master, you drive off other guests. Then let me experience how your North Sea invites others to leave, settling comfortably in the guest hall. These two appeared and kept escalating. Not asking one to kneel in apology, they wanted the other to leave. He had nothing to be courteous about. Beihai Crown's face darkened as he snorted. You asked for it? His eyes flashed as he first glared at Zhu. It's all because of you, this reckless thing causing trouble. I'll discipline you first. He wanted to start with Zhu, using his strong force to intimidate Jang Fan away. Lest accidentally the guest gets knocked out in a 1-2-3 manner. The Demon Emperor would certainly blame us. Scaring him away would be best. He casually waved his hand, delivering a formidable strike of the 9th layer of core formation perfection. An invisible water wave surged, crashing towards Zhu with a long spray of water. With her cultivation at the 8th layer of core formation, she had no power to resist such an attack. But if she were to dodge, Jang Fan would be affected. She could only grit her teeth and do her best to withstand it. Feeling the fierce and intense impact, she felt bitter at heart. This time, she feared she would be seriously injured. Whiz. Suddenly, a powerful and scorching thunder sword occupied her vision. A colossal thunder sword, 200 zhang long, appeared out of thin air. Not only did it shatter Beihai Crown's water wave, but it also blasted him out of the guest hall. His clothing was left pitted and scarred by the burning thunder. His body surface was covered with scorched marks. Beihai Crown was surprised. Thunder Dao divine power. The undying blade of the 10,000 tribulations holy temple. Zhu looked at Jang Fan in astonishment. Her mind was in a daze. Back in the Demon Emperor Palace, Jang Fan and Bai Chu at the 8th layer of core formation needed to use multiple means to win. Now he could repel a 9th layer perfection Demon King with a single strike. This change was simply earth-shattering. Evil Pupil Master glanced sideways at Jang Fan's palm filled with residual thunder breath. He had seen Jang Fan fight against Zhuo Yin, naturally knowing how formidable the kid was. If taken seriously, Beihai Crown might not even be his match, but he smirked slightly and continued to provoke. Beihai Crown, your North Sea is useless. You can't even drive away an unruly guest. Tusk, tusk. Beihai Crown became anxious. Immediately shouted into the distance. Everyone, come here. Someone is causing trouble in the Imperial Palace. In fact, there was no need for him to shout. The strong ones in the palace had already sensed the huge disturbance and were heading to the scene. Soon, a total of 4 9th layer perfection Demon Kings arrived. Although they lacked the deep proficiency and strength of Yu Qingshuan, they were truly of the 9th layer perfection. Adding Beihai Crown to the mix, even Yu Qingshuan would have difficulty handling the 5 of them together. Jang Fan gave Evil Pupil Master a daunting look, recognizing this guy was deliberately stirring up trouble, hoping to cause a large commotion with Jang Fan, thus inviting the Demon Emperor to punish him. However, he would be disappointed. Jang Fan had no intention of going out to fight. He merely raised his hand, with the power of thunder and lightning surging to its peak, then fiercely slashed towards the 5 Demon Emperors. Crackling, a terrifying thunder sword, 800 zhang long, descended with his palm's gesture. Crash, the guest hall was split into 2. The ground bore a long thunder scar of 800 zhang. Beihai Crown and the 4 Demon Kings were blown away in various directions. Their faces showed shock. This strike was close to a left-down nascent soul strike. Among those of the 9th layer perfection, only those with extremely deep proficiency could withstand it. Jang Fan said calmly, Beihai Crown, you can continue to call more people. The bigger the commotion, the better. The more the Imperial Palace was damaged, the deeper Beihai would be blamed by the demon emperor when Jang Fan revealed the pill recipe. This idiot, kneeling and licking foreign clans, being sold out but still helping to count money. He didn't mind letting him learn a deeper lesson. Beihai face was lost. 5 demon emperors couldn't even drive away a Little People clan member, just at this moment. A nascent soul figure soared upwards from the imperial palace. It was the 100 Herbs Master. Soon after, 2 figures rapidly approached, one after the other. The one in the lead was the North Sea Demon Emperor. Evil Pupil Master, looking at the ruined guest hall, smirked slightly. He could already imagine the North Sea Demon Emperor's expression upon seeing his guest hall destroyed. This was indeed the Beihai Palace, the face of the Beihai royal family. Even he dared not act recklessly here. Yet Jang Fan, unaware of the heights of the heavens and the depths of the earth, directly destroyed the guest hall. Beihai also showed a cold expression, mouthing "You're finished" to Jang Fan, then quickly greeted the newcomers, pretending to be very innocent. "Demon Emperor, you have finally arrived. There's an audacious fool causing trouble in our North Sea. Prince is seriously injured, his life hanging in the balance. The Demon Emperor is truly in a time of sorrow." Jang Fan chose this moment to demolish the guest residence. It's like asking for trouble. Wait for the Demon Emperor to be enraged. Who would have thought? The Demon Emperor pushed him aside abruptly. Being unprepared, he fell to the side instantly. He was momentarily stunned. Why is the Demon Emperor in such a hurry? Noticing the evil pupil master sitting amid the ruins with a face as dark as water, he suddenly understood. Such a distinguished guest like the evil pupil master is treated with such neglect. How could the Demon Emperor not be anxious? He glanced sideways at Jang Fan. "I asked you to leave, you refused. Now that the Demon Emperor is here, you won't be able to leave even if you want to." Evil pupil master feigned darkness, waiting for the North Sea Demon Emperor to come hastily to apologize. Sure enough, the Demon Emperor walked towards him, and when he was close, he humbly snorted. "North Sea's hospitality really broadens my horizons." Originally wanted to give a warning, but his face turned rigid. The Demon Emperor directly bypassed him and quickly came to Jang Fan. Little friend Jiang, I have been inattentive, truly sorry." Empress also hurried over, bowing apologetically. "I have offended you numerous times. I beg young Master Jiang's forgiveness." She secretly rejoiced. Fortunately, the Demon Emperor had Jang Fan sent away. Otherwise, a few harsh words at the time might have driven him away, making it difficult to mend now. Jang Fan looked at the slightly stiff evil pupil master, smiling faintly. "Demon Emperor, Empress, I am merely a junior. Evil pupil master is the senior, don't let him be neglected. He is waiting for your hospitable reception." Not only killing, but attacking the heart. Currently in a critical time, how could the Demon Emperor bother about the evil pupil master? From afar, he clasped his hands slightly towards him, considered as a greeting. This made the evil pupil master's face truly darken. Like suffering a great setback, what made him even more uncomfortable was, the Demon Emperor completely disregarded his feelings and stated bluntly, "Little friend Jiang, you are indeed my most honored guest in the North Sea. No one else matters. Having you staying in this guest residence is genuinely a grievance for you." Immediately, he surveyed the ruins, turned to glare at Mu Ziyu, chastising, "How did you take care of young Master Jiang? And who destroyed this guest residence?" Empress already disliked Mu Ziyu, now burning with anger. "Useless thing. Told you to entertain young Master Jiang turns into a big mishap. Who destroyed the guest residence? Speak." Mu Ziyu cautiously looked at Jang Fan, said, "Demon Emperor, Empress, perhaps it's better not to say." Empress snorted coldly. "I don't care who he is. Young Master Jiang sits here, yet dares to destroy the main hall is simply disrespectful to him. I will not let it slide." "Speak freely." Mu Ziyu pouted, "but you are the ones asking me to say it." She pointed at Jang Fan, said, "Wasn't it young Master Jiang who destroyed it?" "Ah, Jang Fan was the one who destroyed it." Empress immediately changed her expression, awkwardly said, "Oh dear, look at this guest residence, old and dilapidated, almost collapsed on young Master Jiang." Mu Ziyu secretly laughed. Even the usually domineering Empress had moments of performing face-changing like Sichuan opera on the spot. Glancing at Beihai, whose face turned pale not far away, Mu Ziyu added a slash. It wasn't the guest residence collapsing. It was Beihai insisting to kick young Master Jiang out and even acted upon him. What? Act on Jang Fan? This time the Demon Emperor was shocked, fiercely glared at the Empress. "Your clan members are truly formidable." daring to make decisions on their own to drive guests, and even acted. Among the 4Cs, who ever heard of kicking out guests? It's simply the biggest joke ever. Empress was also greatly surprised. Under her protection, her clan members were arrogant usually, but never expected to be so arrogant to the point of using force to evict guests. Doesn't he consider the honor of the North Sea at all? Thinking of this, her eyes blazed, imposing, said, Beihai, you have been too lawless. Hand over your Demon King's token first. Go kneel outside the Imperial Palace and await your fate. What? Beihai face turned pale as paper. Had he been stripped of his Demon King identity, the Demon Emperor said with shame, Young Master Jiang, I deeply apologize. We have serious internal problems in the North Sea. Fortunately, Jang Fan was unharmed. Otherwise, how could he have asked for the Revitalizing Pill? Since they had dealt with Beihai, Jang Fan naturally wouldn't pursue the matter further. He stood up and said, Let's go see the Crown Prince. The Empress was instantly excited. Then, feeling extremely guilty, she said, Thank you, young Master Jiang, for not holding a grudge. The North Sea owes you a great debt. Jang Fan nodded and before leaving said, Sister Mu, come along. Mu Ziyu gladly followed. This scene was observed by the Empress, who naturally understood that Jang Fan intended to support her. How could she not grasp the meaning? Moreover, it was thanks to Mu Ziyu's friendship with this person. Otherwise, the Crown Prince would have been beyond saving. Ziyu, you've done a great service for the North Sea. From today on, enjoy the treatment of a Demon King. May you soon become the new Demon King. Mu Ziyu was overjoyed upon hearing this. The treatment of a Demon King means she could enjoy the best resources under the Demon Emperor and Empress. If she still couldn't achieve 9th layer perfection, she could only blame herself for not being ambitious enough. Thank you, Empress. Thank you, young Master Jiang. She naturally understood that this was a benefit Jang Fan had secured for her. She glanced sideways at Jang Fan's handsome profile. Suddenly she realized that the day Jang Fan knocked her unconscious and took her camisole, it was actually a secretly destined opportunity. Unfortunately, Jang Fan was too timid. He only took the camisole. If he had taken a bit more, would there have been more opportunities? Beihai, who hadn't gone far, suddenly trembled. He fawned over evil pupil master in a lowly manner but gained nothing, not even a copper coin. Mu Ziyu gained such an amazing reward just by properly entertaining Jang Fan. The stark contrast made him secretly clench his teeth. He glared at evil pupil master resentfully, and muttered, Looks good but is useless. Wasted my feelings? Evil pupil master's face turned blue and then red. Sitting alone amidst the ruins, holding cold tea left in the lurch. Neither staying nor leaving was appropriate. The sick room, looking at the Crown Prince who was barely breathing. Jang Fan took out the Revitalizing Pill again, saying with deep meaning, This time it won't be set aside, right? The Demon Emperor's old face burned. I was blind. I didn't recognize the renowned ancient spirit pills before my eyes. Young Master Jiang generously gifted such a precious spirit pill and I failed to appreciate it. It's truly. Jang Fan didn't say much more. He fed the Revitalizing Pill into the Crown Prince's mouth. As it was swallowed, the pills turned into spiritual liquid, nourishing every part of the body. The weakened breath immediately showed improvement. In no more than half a day, the noble Crown Prince will be fully recovered. Such severe injuries. In just half a day. The Demon Emperor and the Empress were both startled and delighted. The Demon Emperor was especially grateful, bowing repeatedly with tears in his eyes. Little friend Jiang. My son's life-saving grace, I cannot thank you enough. Jang Fan was also unwilling to say more. With a finger, he pointed to his forehead. A blue flame manifested. I wagered with Bai Chu and won the Divinity Transformation Relic mark, which I'm sure you are aware of. I plan to enter now. I wonder if it could be made convenient. Divinity Transformation Relics. The Demon Emperor looked troubled and exchanged a glance with the Empress. Jang Fan frowned. Having just given them a revitalizing pill, were they thinking of reneging? Noticing Jang Fan's displeasure, the Demon Emperor said, Little friend, Jiang, don't misunderstand. You have a life-saving grace for my son. I could never repay you enough. Why would I make things difficult for you? It's just that going to the Divinity Transformation Relics at this time is not a good idea. Fan pondered, What makes you say that? The Demon Emperor did not hide anything and said, To be honest, there has been a change in the Divinity Transformation Relics. At some point, swarms of toxic creatures started coming out. Those creatures are very formidable. Even if I get bitten too much, there would be a life-threatening risk. Below the nascent soul, being bitten once can put one in extreme danger. I suspect it was released by that unknown malicious spirit before leaving when we opened the relics. The purpose is to prevent us from entering again." Jang Fan showed a contemplative expression. Toxic creatures? The chicken feather on his chest could even counter the nightmare ice worm. Toxic creatures were even less of a concern. However, the Demon Emperor continued. "Aside from the toxic creatures, there's another tricky part. 3 people from the Heaven and Sea Pavilion also want to enter the Divinity Transformation Relics. Among them is a nascent soul cultivator. Young Master Jiang entering with them, regardless of obtaining resources first, your safety is hard to guarantee." Nascent soul realm. This is troublesome. That nascent soul might not be as easygoing as Yizhu, Old Dream, or the 3C Demon Emperor. With the appearance of Divinity Transformation blood essence, it's even less likely they would let him have it. It could even pose a life threat to him. No wonder the Demon Emperor was troubled. The Demon Emperor sighed, perhaps let them explore once first? Since they dare to enter, they must have some method to restrain the toxic creatures. Who knows, once they've gone, the threat of the toxic creatures might be resolved. Jang Fan furrowed his brows. How could he wait for others to explore first? All the good things would be scavenged by them. What would he go in for? For sightseeing, maybe to carve a Jang Fan was here. After pondering briefly, he had to reveal a bit of his cards and said, "Could you allow me to enter first? Truth be told, I also have some skills to restrain toxic creatures. Self-preservation is not a concern. You also have capabilities to restrain toxic creatures." The Demon Emperor expressed great surprise, but was still somewhat uneasy. If Jiang Fan were to die inside, how would he compensate Southeast and West's 3C Demon Emperor's brothers? At this moment, the Empress glanced at the bed and found that the Crown Prince's aura was completely smooth, and the scorched skin was regenerating. Clenching her teeth, she said, "Demon Emperor, lend our Beihai divine artifact, the 9-dragon bronze chariot, to young Master Jiang. It can be used to escape, and at critical moments, summon the nascent soul realm dragon soul for battle." The Demon Emperor felt distressed upon hearing and whispered, "The 9-dragon bronze chariot needs water source essence to operate. For a trip to the relics, at least one full portion will be consumed. We don't have many portions of water source essence left in Beihai." The 9-dragon bronze chariot, even Beihai was reluctant to use it. The Empress pinched his arm. "Why are you as stingy as a woman? When Jang Fan gifted you the revitalizing pill, he didn't ask for any return. Now it's your turn and you're being so stingy." The Demon Emperor replied awkwardly. All right, we'll do as you say." He then said, "Little friend Jiang, you've heard it all. Come with me to the treasure vault." The 9-dragon bronze chariot, being called a Beihai divine artifact, must not be simple. Refusing would be foolish, wouldn't it? Jiang Fan nodded with pleasure. Not long after, Beihai Palace's treasure vault. A large bronze chariot protected by multiple arrays came into view, several zhang in height, with a whole body shimmering with cyan light, emanating an ancient charm. The carriage was intricately inscribed, the wheels embedded with peculiar patterns. The most eye-catching were the 9 bronze dragons serving as steeds. "The Emperor travels, 9 dragons clear the path," Jiang Fan praised. "Only the strong of this era could be worthy of such a chariot." The Demon Emperor dismantled the array, shrinking the 9-dragon bronze chariot to palm size. With a nostalgic look, he said, "I only used it once when ascending to the throne. Ordinarily too precious to use. I hope it can protect young Master Jiang safely." Then he produced a conch filled with water source essence and handed it to Jiang Fan. "Do not use it rashly unless necessary. To avoid lacking water source essence when in danger, unable to operate it." Jiang Fan calmly accepted it, glancing at the water source essence, inwardly astonished. This thing had such great utility. Thinking about the rebellious guy who consumed 3 of his conches, he felt a pang of regret. He really should reduce its food, letting it experience the old landlord's exploitation. "Young Master Jiang, to open the Divinity Transformation Relics, I need to make some arrangements in advance to prevent all the toxic creatures from rushing out. You may browse around the treasure vault for now. Take any treasures that catch your eye," the North Sea Demon Emperor said politely. How could Jiang Fan not recognize the courtesy? With a smile, he said, "Since the Demon Emperor has lent me the 9-dragon bronze chariot, how could I be insatiable? I won't take any treasures. May I browse through your noble family's books instead? There should be some in the North Sea's collection. Just the time to see if there are inscriptions on the bronze hell beast." The North Sea Demon Emperor secretly heaved a sigh of relief. When it comes to just reading, feel free to read. The book collection pavilion is at the southernmost end of the vault. Empress Mu Ziyu accompany young Master Jiang. Jang Fan said, "No need. I'll just quietly read, then call me when the preparations for the Divinity Transformation Relics are ready." Saying so, the Beihai Demon Emperor certainly had nothing further to add. "Very well, then we'll leave. After all, there's nothing dangerous in the treasure vault. Roam as you please." Leaving the vault, he noticed nearby the entrance of a great hall a parasol placed. A glint of joy appeared on his face. "Isn't that Qingshuan's parasol?" As she emerged from seclusion, the Empress, upon hearing this, did a quick calculation, happiness gracing her features. "Today is indeed Qingshuan's day to emerge from seclusion. I've been so busy and frazzled that I even forgot my daughter's emergence day." Turning, she intended to return to the vault and find her. Yet the Demon Emperor stopped her, affectionately said, "Leave it be, she's surely reading at this moment. Do not disturb her." Mu Ziyu, standing nearby, upon hearing the words Qingshuan, exhibited a peculiar expression. Jai Qingshuan was the Beihai Long Princess, but Mu Ziyu hadn't met her many times either. For this Beihai Long Princess was somewhat of an anomaly. Upon her birth, a parasol fell from the sky into the sea, drifting to her side. Since then, she never ventured out without her parasol, often saying there's rain above her head. Yet this is the vast sea. Where would the rain come from? More intriguingly, she was naturally adept in many languages. By the age of 3, she'd already started reading extensively. At 10, unsatisfied with knowledge limited to the North Sea, she supported a large group of the Human Clan, Mainland Demon Clan, and Sea Demon Clan. They did nothing but roamed the world daily, collecting all kinds of big and small information. Now 18, she rarely spoke with others, because the things she wanted to ask, few knew. What others said, she mostly knew already. Even with the Demon Emperor, gradually less conversation occurred. She seemed like a spirit that did not belong to Beihai nor to the human world, out of place with her surroundings. The Empress halted her steps to disturb, sighed softly, "Qingshuan, will she always be like this in her lifetime?" In the treasure vault, Jang Fan headed all the way to the southernmost end. Indeed, he found rows upon rows of bookshelves, with a collection far richer than that of the East Sea. He immediately ran over. Upon approaching, he discovered, surprisingly, a young man sitting cross-legged, leaning against a bookshelf. He held various scattered sheets of paper, with diverse information written on them, some from the Human Clan, some from the Mainland Demon Clan, and some from the Sea Demon Clan, reading the text with intense concentration. He was dressed in luxurious brocade, his figure appearing very slender from behind. There was a demon race scale hanging from his waist. It faintly emanated a terrifying aura from the Demon Emperor realm. Clearly, he was not an ordinary person. Upon hearing noise from behind, the young man turned his head, revealing his appearance. An oval face, skin as fair as pearls, with delicate features and rosy lips. His facial features were extremely gentle. At first glance, one might think he was a woman, but looking at his chest, which was quite flat, he was undoubtedly a man. Jang Fan thought of disguising himself as his mother, just like the East Sea Crown Prince, who was indistinguishable between male and female. He couldn't help but mutter, "Is the yin qi in the 4 seas too strong? Even men are raised with the feeling of daughters." The young man glanced at Jang Fan, then withdrew his gaze, continuing to look at his own text. It seemed he didn't want to talk with Jang Fan. Jang Fan gladly accepted this. He quickly ran to the bookshelf, opening book after book. Anything related to text, he would examine carefully. If not, he immediately put it back in its place. Each of them was busy with their own task. One was holding fragmented pieces of paper, while the other was rustling through books. The large corner filled with books appeared exceptionally quiet. After half a day, Jang Fan shook his head in disappointment, smiling bitterly. "There's nothing in the East Sea, North Sea, or the continent. No wonder the pavilion master hasn't made progress in decades. Where should I go to find it?" At this moment, something unknown happened outside. Waves were surging at the seabed. The seawater inside the treasure pavilion began to flow along. The papers on the young man's lap drifted away with the flow. One of them flew in front of Jang Fan, and as he casually grabbed it, a line of Human Clan text appeared before his eyes. Human Clans! In the depths of the North Sea, thousands of miles away, to see Human Clan text. It was truly curious. He couldn't help but take another look, and the content he saw made him look strange. The Great Unity World theory, based on investigations, originated from the mouth of the former disciple of the Green Cloud sect, Jang Fan. The location was a demon race southwestern military camp with concubine Xianxia and others present. No way. Could this also be investigated? Have you heard of the great unity world theory? In the moment he lost his senses, the young man with the beautiful and delicate features had already come to his side. In a clear and light voice, he asked. Jang Fan had more than just heard it, wasn't it he who said it? Yes, I've heard of it. Jang Fan touched his nose and said, You also want to say it's nonsense, right? The young man's calm eyes suddenly brightened. This was an extremely obscure story. He thought that like all the answers he had received before, it would be unknown. Unexpectedly, this young man before him, not much older than himself, actually gave an unexpected answer. What is the content? He asked, not quite believing it. Jang Fan awkwardly said, Isn't it just respect for elders and care for young ones? He had a feeling like writing an article and suddenly being asked who wrote this. The young man showed a hint of surprise on his face. You really have heard of it? He then shook his head and said, You can say it's nonsense, but I think it can actually be called an ideal. An ultimate ideal for a society of all races. Although it's very empty and unrealistic, just as this person said, reaching such an era requires a towering figure to lead everyone forward. After saying this, he gently took back the paper, his fingers brushing over the name, Jang Fan. He showed a hint of curiosity. This Jang Fan, I initially thought he was a king who built immortal achievements with grand ambitions while being lonely. Otherwise, he could not have spoken such words of compassion for all life. Unexpectedly, he is just a young disciple. By the way, you are from the human clan too. Have you heard of this Jang Fan? Jang Fan cleared his throat. Even with his thick skin being praised to his face, he couldn't help but blush and said, I think I've heard of him, but I'm not familiar. The young man nodded gently and said, Just right, I'm about to go on a journey. When I have time, I'll visit him. At this moment, Mu Ziyu called from outside the hall, Young Master Jiang, the Divinity Transformation Relics are about to open. It turned out the previous disturbances were caused by the opening of the Divinity Transformation Relics. Jang Fan replied, All right, I'm coming. He cupped his hand towards the young man and said, Brother, I have some business, goodbye. The young man, rarely opening up, walked alongside him and said, I'll walk you out. By the way, do you know about the connecting sky-black pillar? He asked again. Jang Fan was puzzled. Has this person not spoken for several lifetimes? Why was he so talkative? After thinking, he still replied politely, Naturally, I know I've seen it firsthand. The young man was not surprised. Knowing about the connecting sky-black pillar wasn't unusual. The matter had already become a hot topic. What do you think about the connecting sky-black pillar? Jang Fan looked up at the azure sky, pondered for a moment and said, I think the sky above our heads is not the sky. It's an unknown world. How could there be ancient giants falling from the sky? Or the deceiving god pearl falling from the sky? When the seeds of the void ancient tree sprouted, why did rolling heavenly thunder fall from the sky? Considering all these, he felt the sky he saw might not be the sky he understood it to be. It should be something he couldn't comprehend. Do you also think so? The young man's beautiful eyes suddenly brightened. He pondered and said, I also feel that there's something wrong with our sky. It's sick, constantly raining as if it's crying. Raining? Jang Fan looked questioningly at the talkative young man before him. When did this world keep raining? The two of them walked and chatted, exploring the various possibilities of the sky when they reached the door of the treasure vault. The young man smiled softly. You answered one of my questions, so I'll answer one for you. Anywhere within the 4 seas of the continent. I should be able to answer you? Such confidence. Jang Fan suspiciously scrutinized him. After thinking with a mindset to try, he took out the Hell Beast bronze artifact and said, Can you see the inscription on it? Do you recognize it? The young man glanced at it and gently nodded. Hell language. Most things inscribed with Hell language on this continent originate from the underworld of the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. You must be a member of the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. Hell language. Jang Fan's eyes widened. It was the first time anyone revealed the origin of these inscriptions. He excitedly grabbed the young man's shoulder. Are you not deceiving me? His excited demeanor made the young man chuckle as he covered his mouth. That's right, it's Hell language. I saw some of it in a fragmentary bamboo slip. Barely recognizing a few, he pointed to the bronze artifact and said, Look, this inscription translates to the demon race language as boundary. This translates to fall. This translated means king. Jang Fan could hardly believe it. An accidental encounter with a young man who actually knew the inscriptions. Is the bamboo slip still there? Jang Fan asked excitedly. I'll exchange something with you. The young man shook his head. I only want information I haven't heard before. Anything else I don't want. Jang Fan thought for a moment and said, "Would you like to know about the underworld of the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion? A female ghost with a tiger talisman. A cave with hell language spiritual tablets hidden inside." The young man showed a thoughtful expression. "The tiger talisman is a symbol of military power. Why would it fall into the hands of a female ghost? And who erected the hell language spiritual tablets in the underworld? Interesting. All right, I'll make the exchange with you. However, the bamboo slip isn't with me. You'll have to wait a bit." Jang Fan was full of anticipation and said, "Just so, I need to go to the Divinity Transformation Relics now. I'll be back. See you at the door of the treasure vault in a day." The young man nodded. But then he quickly called out to Jang Fan, "Wait. If you go to the Divinity Transformation Relics like this, you'll most likely come back empty-handed. Let me give you something." Fan watched curiously. The young man took out paper and pen and skillfully drew a simple map. Several places were circled on it. The Divinity Transformation Relics have been explored, and all easily found items have been scavenged. Fortunately, the relics are complex, with countless branching paths. They didn't finish exploring last time. The 3 circles I drew are places they haven't been to. Jang Fan was puzzled about how this young man knew so much about the North Sea Demon Emperor's previous actions. But judging from the young man's words and actions, this map was definitely real. "Brother, you're quite generous." Jang Fan lightly punched him on the chest, smiling. "All right, I owe you one." The young man quickly covered his chest, pressed his rosy lips together, and his eyes had a slight hint of irritation. "Did I hurt you?" Seeing him cover his chest, Jang Fan was speechless. "I only punched lightly. You really should exercise more." "Skinny arms and legs," he pinched the young man's arm. Truly skinny to an unbelievable extent. Estimate the arm was not even as thick as Jang Fan's wrist. The young man quickly shook off Jang Fan's hand with a somewhat panicked expression. "You should get going." Jang Fan was rather speechless. Why act like a woman, react so strongly to a touch? But his chest was firm just now, clearly a man. Sigh the gentle wind of the vast sea, truly hard to understand. Leaving the treasure vault, Mu Ziyu waited outside, slightly anxious. "Why did you just come out now? The Demon Emperor has been waiting for you outside the palace for a long time." Jang Fan said, "I met a chatterbox." Mu Ziyu glanced back at the treasury, his eyes showing doubt. "Besides the Demon Emperor and Empress, only the Crown Prince and Princess could enter here freely. No one else would be present." Jang Fan continued, "Must be one of your North Sea princes. The attire was so luxurious and can enter the treasury freely. Aside from being a prince, he couldn't think of anyone else." Finished speaking, he quickly walked towards the outside of the palace. Mu Ziyu was baffled. "Prince? In our North Sea, isn't there only the current crown prince? He's currently lying in bed. Where did a second prince come from?" Outside the imperial palace, the long-waiting demon emperor immediately turned into a water stream and led Jang Fan towards the distance. After a long time, an extremely distant barren land from the North Sea Palace. This place was covered with seaweed stretching endlessly. Beneath the seaweed, a massive ancient city ruin could be vaguely seen. An ancient city submerged beneath the sea? Or was today's North Sea once part of an ancient continent? Jang Fan's heart surged with shock. Really had no idea what terrifying events might have occurred here. The demon emperor stopped before a cleared ruin. This was a palace-like existence, long since dilapidated. The walls were covered with seaweed and various shells, worn and mottled. On the palace's plaza, there was actually a hovering giant palace door. The entire body ablaze with blue flames, appearing extraordinarily mysterious. "That is the entrance to the Divinity Transformation Relics." The demon emperor pointed to the giant door and said, "When discovered, it was merely an array etched onto the ground. When activated, it became the sight before us." Jang Fan stared at the blue flames and felt a sense of danger. What happens if one forces their way through? The demon emperor did not speak, took out a pale golden stone. Jang Fan recognized it, exclaiming, "Jang Metal Stone!" In the secret realm of the demon race's 9 Dynasty ancient capital, a mural had been scraped away. Because it contained Jang Metal Stone powder, adding a bit during artifact refining makes the weapon indestructible. Imagine its hardness. The demon emperor flicked his finger. The Jang Metal Stone flew into the blue flames. It instantly started to burn like wood. In a moment, it was turned into a pile of black ash. The demon emperor said, "I believe even Divinity Transformation Realm powerhouses wouldn't dare easily touch this fire." Gasp. Jang Fan sucked in a cold breath. This flame is far more terrifying than Vice Building owner Gu's purple flame, who dares to rashly breach. the Demon Emperor said. When the array was activated, it shot out 18 flame marks. Only with this mark's protection can one enter. Now all 18 flame marks have been distributed, not a single one left. Even we Beihai Demon clan lack the capability to enter. So, little friend Jiang, this is your only chance to enter. Make the most of your resources, search. Jang Fan cupped his hands. Thank you, North Sea Demon Emperor. He took out the blue flame, pinched it in his palm, cautiously approached the flame gate, attempted to extend his nail towards it. Sure enough, with the blue flame's protection, the flame gate couldn't harm him, having no worries. Jang Fan directly entered inside. The Demon Emperor sat nearby, waiting for Jang Fan to exit. Soon after, he suddenly opened his eyes. Suddenly struck the air in front. Swish, 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 the powerful water series technique hit a figure hidden in the space. He lost his right arm and right eye. Wasn't it the evil pupil master from Sanking Mountain? You, the Demon Emperor's expression slightly changed. The evil pupil master laughed heartily. I thought the Divinity Transformation Relics needed your Beihai royal family's secret technique to open. Turns out just need the blue flame mark. Wasted my trip, got a cold shoulder from you. He was particularly excited. Glad he had secretly followed the Demon Emperor and Jang Fan to this place. Only then did he realize he could enter the Divinity Transformation Relics at any time. The Demon Emperor's heart was slightly troubled. This is bothersome. If the evil pupil master storms in, Jang Fan might not survive. Evil pupil master, inside are poison bugs everywhere. Think carefully before entering. The Demon Emperor advised coldly. The evil pupil master became suspicious. Poison bugs? Just as he doubted, something seemed to change inside the flame gate. Some poison bugs were frightened and fled the flame gate. Unafraid of the flames, they crossed the flame gate. These bugs were centipede-like, entirely sapphire blue, with fire seemingly burning inside. The evil pupil master immediately sensed their immense venom. Even if encountering a group, likely would be perilous. Immediately his expression flickered, not daring to rush in. The Demon Emperor slightly relaxed. The presence of poison bugs helped Jang Fan avoid a disaster. As long as Heaven and Sea Pavilion disciples capable of restraining poison bugs don't come, Jang Fan inside alone is the safest. Buzz, however, fear of what comes next. The sea suddenly surged with waves. A golden spirit boat swiftly approached through the water. Standing on it were an old man and two 18-year-olds. The elder's cultivation had reached the nascent soul realm and was at the second stage nascent soul. The young man and woman had reached 9th layer of core formation perfection, surrounded by tribulation aura. Their bodies in some aspects had reached nascent soul level, meaning left down nascent soul. Seeing them, the Demon Emperor's heart sank. People from Heaven and Sea Pavilion have arrived, in addition to the evil pupil master. There's a second stage nascent soul, 1 orifice nascent soul, 2 left down nascent souls. Oh no, what will Jang Fan do? Pupil master saw the newcomer. A smile immediately appeared on his face. Senior Zhuo Yin, he quickly stepped forward to pay his respects. Zhuo Yin master had a good relationship with Sanking Mountain, having met several times before. The two were somewhat acquainted. Zhuo Yin master had already noticed him, nodded with a smile, and then glanced at the giant gate burning with blue flames. There was a look of hope in his eyes. This is the second time in my life encountering the Divinity Transformation Relics. I wonder if I can find what I want this time. Zhuo Yin master took out 3 fire seeds and handed 1 each to the 2 disciples behind him. Stay close behind me later and don't get hurt by the poisonous creatures. The 2 disciples were extremely delighted. To enter the Divinity Transformation Relics before even attaining nascent soul, they were quite exceptional, weren't they? The North Sea Demon Emperor promptly stepped forward to pay respects. Zhuo Yin master, weren't you supposed to arrive in a few days? Knowing that Zhuo Yin master arrived earlier, he would certainly stop Jang Fan from entering. Zhuo Yin master helplessly said, since the appearance of the connecting sky-black pillar, anomalies have been frequent all over Taikang State. Not long ago, a mysterious heavenly ascending ancient road even appeared. Someone saw a venerate who died 1,000 years ago at the end of the ancient road. Another saw a pill furnace taller than the heavens, spewing multicolored Dan clouds. Some even saw ancient unrivaled techniques carved onto immortal corpses. Taikang State has gone mad. All sects are sending disciples to explore the ancient road. I wanted to take the chance before the road opens, to bring my 2 disciples here to seek opportunities for them as well, so they can have an advantage on the heavenly ascending ancient road. The North Sea Demon Emperor listened with shock. What exactly is at the end of the heavenly ascending ancient road? This is the ancient road of Taikang State. It's unlikely that people from the Four Seas and the continent will be allowed to compete over it. Recollecting his thoughts, the North Sea Demon Emperor said, Senior Zhuo Yin, I have a young friend from the human clan who recently ventured into the relics. He is only at the core formation realm, and I hope Zhuo Yin Master will take care of him if encountered. Upon hearing the first half, Zhuo Yin Master's brow furrowed, his eyes sharp. Learning that he was only at the core formation realm, the worry lifted off his heart. He nodded perfunctorily, We'll see if we meet. He couldn't even manage his two disciples. How could he care for an outsider? Evil Pupil Master quickly stepped forward, Senior Zhuo Yin. The poisonous creatures here are quite fierce. Could I follow behind you? Rest assured, whatever treasures I find, I will prioritize letting you choose. If you don't want them, then I'll take them. Zhuo Yin Master frowned. Even though he knew these words weren't trustworthy, he couldn't directly refuse due to their acquaintance. With an expressionless face, he said, Then just keep up. After saying this, he led his two disciples with seals in hand and rushed through the flame gate. Evil Pupil Master chuckled and quickly followed inside. The Demon Emperor, however, was filled with concern. Jang Fan, take care. Inside the relics, Crunch, Jang Fan stepped on and squashed 3 blue centipedes, the spurting blue liquid corroding black marks on the ground. Frowning slightly at the ground where it was hard to step, Jang Fan said, There are too many poisonous creatures. Even though the poisonous creatures avoided Jang Fan, there were so many that some were still squeezed close to him. He looked around. After entering the flame gate, he found himself in front of a plaza paved with bluestone bricks. The plaza was packed with dense blue centipedes, like a tidal wave. Just looking made his scalp tingle. There shouldn't be anything left on the plaza, right? Jang Fan speculated. This place is a necessary path in the relics. If there were treasures, the Beihai demon clan would have spotted them long ago. Besides, the relic's owner wouldn't likely leave important items in a place everyone can access. He stepped toward the depths of the plaza. Suddenly, in his peripheral vision, he noticed something peculiar. Not far away, there was an area not covered by the insect tide. The poisonous creatures seemed to greatly fear that area, forming a circular blank space with a diameter of several meters. Could there be something beneath the ground? Surprised, Jang Fan hurriedly approached. From the surface, this bluestone brick looked no different from other places. This was also why no one had noticed anything unusual. If it weren't for the insect swarms avoiding it, Jang Fan wouldn't have noticed something wrong here. He carefully pried open the green stone brick. Underneath, he found a small, entirely blue box pressed down by the bricks. What is this? It can keep the poisonous insects at bay. He picked it up and tried to unscrew the lid. But even with all his strength, the lid wouldn't budge. That's strange. It's not even a spiritual artifact, yet I can't open it, Jang Fan murmured. Just as he was about to try again, he suddenly heard a noise from the flame gate behind him. His face slightly changed. Someone is coming in, Evil Pupil Master. He quickly tossed the mysterious black box into the heavenly thunder stone, then hastily covered the green stone brick. Just as he finished, a group of figures barged in. Jang Fan watched vigilantly. He found that besides Evil Pupil Master, there was one elder and 2 young ones. Are they the strong ones from the Heaven and Sea Pavilion, as the Demon Emperor mentioned? They also noticed Jang Fan. Evil Pupil Master's eyes instantly filled with malice. You brat! Didn't expect I'd come so soon, did you? As he spoke, a trace of nascent soul power condensed in his palm. Jang Fan's eyes focused. Without thinking, he stomped his foot. A large batch of poisonous insects was sent flying. Then he waved his sleeves, and the insects were all scattered towards them. Evil Pupil Master's face changed, and he quickly hid behind Zhuo Yin Master. Zhuo Yin Master squinted his eyes, placing 2 fingers at the corner of his mouth, murmuring strange spells. Waves of bizarre sound began to radiate slowly. The poisonous insects approaching them shattered upon getting within a yard. The insects on the ground swarming towards them seemed frightened, frantically avoiding and not daring to approach. With his first strike failing, Jang Fan immediately rushed forward. The insects on the ground swarmed chaotically onward. Thus, the insect swarms overlapped, breaking through Zhuo Yin Master's 1-yard range. Some insects even reached their feet. The 2 disciples hurriedly used cultivation techniques to slap them dead. Zhuo Yin Master shot a glance at Evil Pupil Master and said, Young friend, hold on. Your grievances with Evil Pupil Master have nothing to do with our Heaven and Sea Pavilion. Do not harm the innocent. As he spoke, he formed seals with his palms and emitted an even more mysterious sound wave. The nearby insects were even more afraid and retreated one after another. Jang Fan secretly pondered. Such strong restraint methods, not losing to the chicken feather. He glared at evil pupil master. If it doesn't concern you, why are you protecting him? When evil pupil master made a move earlier, there was no sign of this elder stopping him. When Jang Fan made a move, he protected evil pupil master and claimed their grievances were none of his concern. Zhu Yin master said, I was not aware of your feud beforehand, so I agreed to bring him in and promised to protect him from the insects. How about this? Why don't both sides give me a bit of face? Refrain from fighting within these relics. How about it? He cast a kind smile at Jang Fan. Turning to evil pupil master, he gave a cold, warning look. He kindly brought him in, and this fellow still brought trouble to him and his disciples. If he dared to say one word of dissent, he'd immediately toss him into the insect swarm. Evil pupil master said sullenly, It was I, the younger generation, who was reckless. How could he have predicted that the insects here were not a problem for Jang Fan? On the contrary, they became his amulet. Almost suffered a great loss. Jang Fan considered for a moment and said, As for senior's words, I shall naturally comply. If someone could suppress evil pupil master, allowing him to treasure hunt with peace of mind, why not? Seeing Jang Fan's sensibility, Zhu Yin master smiled slightly. His old eyes gleaming with a sharp light, he glanced around. Seemingly unintentionally, he asked, Since you came in first, have you found any treasures? Fan glanced slightly at the area where the small black box was hidden. With the black box taken away, it was already covered by a tide of insects again. Nothing seemed unusual. He pretended to smile wryly, reporting to the senior, I just set foot here and then you arrived. I haven't even had a chance to start searching. Upon hearing this, Zhu Yin master looked toward evil pupil master. The latter nodded gently. This fellow indeed just arrived. With this, Zhu Yin master was reassured. Such a short time. Unless the treasure is very conspicuous, where would the just-arrived Jang Fan have the time to take it away? But again, this broad square is a necessary path. If there were truly an obvious treasure, did the Beihai demon clan who came earlier happen to miss it? Hee, little friend, don't rush. In my exploration experience, significant treasures wouldn't be hidden in necessary paths. Jang Fan cupped his hands and said, Thank you for the guidance, senior. He secretly chuckled. Exactly. The owner of this relic probably guessed you would think this way, and so buried a mysterious black box here. He grew even more curious about what was inside that black box. Time waits for no one, and this flame mark can only be maintained for a day. Let's hurry to explore deeper. Little friend, why don't you come with us too? I just encountered the North Sea Demon Emperor, and he instructed me to take care of you. Zhu Yin master said seemingly kindly. But how could Jang Fan not see through his intentions? Nominally to take care of Jang Fan. In reality, worried Jang Fan might venture on his own and find a great treasure. So, keeping him close to monitor. Jang Fan showed a look of surprise and said without hesitation, Then I shall trouble the senior to take care of me. Evil pupil master gave a slight snort, thinking silently, what a fool, being monitored yet feeling content. The young man and woman also shook their heads slightly. The girl pursed her lips slightly, a trace of disdain flashing in her eyes. Such a little fool, not noticing my master's simple intention. Too easily deceived, right? But how could they know? Jang Fan had long obtained a map of the Divinity Transformation Relics. This map has countless branching paths. Soon they would have no choice but to split up. Zhu Yin master wanting to keep him close? Just wishful thinking. Seeing Jang Fan so naive, Zhu Yin master smiled even more amiably. Don't worry, if there are any gains, I will definitely take care of you. Let's go. The group passed through the square, arriving at the end. As the square gradually narrowed, it became a long road emitting a faint light leading deeper. On both sides of the road, countless branches were densely packed. The branches scattered into innumerable smaller paths, at first glance, shaped like the roots of a great tree. Indeed, a complex web of crisscross paths, impossible to count. There were at least 100 small paths. This made the group fall silent on sight. The girl's face turned slightly pale. Master, where should we start exploring these paths? Zhu Yin master was also stunned, unexpected to have so many roads. Exploring one path at a time, even 10 days wouldn't be enough. It seems we have to split up. Perhaps this way more can be explored in limited time. Zhu Yin master looked around at everyone. Everyone frowned. Toxic insects ran across those faintly glowing paths from time to time. Although not as many as in the square, getting bitten would be quite unpleasant. Among them, only Zhuo Yin Master and Jang Fan could restrain the toxic insects. Whatever the division, it could only be split into two groups. Zhuo Yin Master's old eyes flashed. "Little friend, it seems you and I must separate." Jang Fan laughed inwardly. Already anticipated it, old fellow. He feigned a wry smile. "Just now, Master was saying to take care of me. Now I'm to act alone." Zhuo Yin Master's old face felt a bit awkward. "I hadn't expected the paths within the relic to be so complex. Let me have my disciple Wei Kaoran accompany you. His strength is enough to protect you." He. Old fellow, still thinking of monitoring me. But this was within Jang Fan's expectations. The only ones Zhuo Yin Master could send to watch over Jang Fan were his disciple and evil pupil master. But how could he dare let evil pupil master, a nascent soul realm cultivator, out of his sight? No matter what, he would keep evil pupil master by his side. The only candidates were his two disciples. Wei Kaoran, a rigid male disciple, raised his eyebrows and said, "Master, let junior sister go with him. My talent in sensing myriad energies can help Master find more useful magical treasures." Zhuo Yin Master pondered for a moment. He naturally knew that Wei Kaoran was more suitable to stay by his side. However, he worried that his female disciple was less experienced than Wei Kaoran and might easily be tricked by Jang Fan if she encountered treasures. But looking at Jang Fan's very innocent appearance, he thought perhaps his worries were excessive. Immediately said, "All right, Pei Yuan, you protect little friend Jiang." Pei Yuan glared at Wei Kaoran with resentment. Obviously, following the master makes it much easier to find treasures. Who'd want to follow this silly young man? But the master's orders must be followed. She could only comply. Pouting, she came to Jang Fan, reluctantly saying, "I'm Pei Yuan. From now on, I'll protect you." Jang Fan cupped his hands and said, "I'm Jang Fan, with senior sister protecting me, I'm at ease." Pei Yuan secretly rolled her eyes. "Such a little fool. Can't you tell I'm here to supervise you? Later, if we find any treasures, I might trick you and you'll still have to praise me." The arrangements were made. Zhuo Yin Master, along with evil pupil master and Wei Kaoran, chose the left fork and proceeded. Seeing them leave, Jang Fan took out the map written by the North Sea youth, remaining unfazed. Comparing the circles on it, he memorized several small paths. "Let's go, dumb junior brother Jiang." Pei Yuan almost called him a fool. She carefully glanced at Jang Fan and discovered he hadn't noticed at all, slightly relieved. Mentally calling him a fool once more, Jang Fan put away the map and said, "Oh, all right then, let's go that way." Pei Yuan looked at the unremarkable, somewhat distant path he pointed out. Her eyebrows furrowed. "Why go there? Trust me, this route will guarantee we find something." She pointed to a nearby fork. Jang Fan slightly shook his head and said, "I want to go that way." Pei Yuan's eyebrows shot up. This fool was actually arguing with her. With a clever look, she said, "Then let's do rock, paper, scissors. Whichever wins, we follow that." Jang Fan agreed without hesitation. "Okay." Pei Yuan secretly chuckled. This little fool trying to outluck her. Why did Zhuo Yin Master choose only Wei Kaoran and her among many disciples? Wei Kaoran was naturally gifted in sensing energies, with a special ability to find treasures, while she was skilled in divination, able to foresee fortune and misfortune. In heaven and sea pavilion, no one dared play luck games with her. She was about to let this silly boy understand what it meant to doubt life. Jang Fan clasped the ancient heart mirror behind his back with one hand, secretly peering at her. "We can start now." Pei Yuan laughed. "All right, 1, 2, 3, scissors, rock." Jang Fan held out his fist, apologetically saying, "Senior sister I won." Pei Yuan paused. That's odd. Before punching, she sensed it would be lucky. How did it suddenly turn unlucky at the moment of acting? "Senior sister, let's follow my choice." Jang Fan said. Pei Yuan quickly responded, "Wait a minute." "Best of 3, Jang Fan helplessly said. "All right. 1, 2, 3, paper, rock." Pei Yuan looked at her fist, slightly dumbfounded, said, "Wait a minute, best of 5, 1, 2, 3, paper, scissors." Pei Yuan stared at Jang Fan's scissor-shaped fingers, bewildered once more. Could she really lose 3 rounds straight? "Best of 7, best of 9, best of 15. Pei Yuan staggered a bit. Her eyes went wide. She actually lost 8 rounds to a fool. Was her talent for sensing fortune and misfortune fake? At this moment, deep doubts about her 18 years of life arose. Jang Fan looked at her with a strange expression. "Senior sister your luck doesn't seem so good." Pei Yuan blushed and said awkwardly, "It's my first time playing this. I'm a bit inexperienced. Forgive me for embarrassing myself in front of you, junior brother Jiang." How could she admit that she's actually the luck king who beat everyone in heaven and sea pavilion? Jang Fan showed a look of realization. No wonder. I was wondering how there could be such an unlucky person losing 8 games in a row. All right, just follow my lead next time. After his words, he walked towards a fork in the path in the distance. Yu Peiyuan gritted her silver teeth slightly. You're the unlucky one. You and your whole family are unlucky ones. HMPH. Soon after. The two followed the fork and reached the end of the path. There was only a collapsed pavilion. Broken tiles lay scattered, and a few stone pillars had broken into several sections on the ground. Nothing can withstand the erosion of time. Not even the Divinity Transformation Relics. Why insist on running here only to find a bunch of ruins? Yu Peiyuan finally found something to say, her small mouth jabbering complaints incessantly. If we had gone down the path I suggested, there would at least be heavenly materials and earthly treasures. Could even stumble upon a world-ending spiritual artifact, earth-shaking treasure, nascent soul opportunity. Jang Fan acted as if she were air, showing a thoughtful expression. This is one of 3 places overlooked by the Beihai demon clan, and all that's here is an abandoned pavilion. He shook his head and was about to leave in disappointment. Suddenly, he sensed something amiss. The site isn't a mountain cliff or a lake. What's the point of building a pavilion here? There must be something to see, right? After pondering, he walked into the pavilion. His vision suddenly changed. What he saw was a picturesque scene of Autumn's lake and mountain wilderness. The mountain was adorned with red leaves, all the woods dyed in color. The wind rippled the lake's surface, sparkles danced on the water. Occasionally, golden carp jumped out. The scenery was extraordinarily beautiful. Looking down, a jar of fine wine and a dish of unknown little beans rested on a dusty stone table. He initially thought it was an illusion technique, but when he reached out to grab the wine jar, it actually materialized in his hand. However, the jar was empty. The little beans, translucent as jade and exuding spiritual energy far exceeding clam meat. Any single bean would probably surpass a whole 1,000-year-old clam meat. If someone in the core formation realm eats it, they might get overwhelmed by the spiritual energy and explode on the spot. He tried picking up one of the little beans and could grasp it. Then he stuffed the whole dish along with the beans into the heavenly thunder stone. Even the empty wine jar was not spared. Next to the stone stools, one had a sitting mat with glowing halos around it. Clearly not an ordinary item, so he collected it as well. Junior brother Jiang, junior brother Jiang. Junior brother Jiang? Vaguely, Jang Fan heard muffled shouting, his heart startled, the surrounding scene extinguished. Once more it reverted to the appearance of a broken pavilion. Yu Peiyuan looked frightened. What happened to you? Why do you look possessed? The moment you stood in the pavilion, you started to zone out, not responding to any calls. Jang Fan was slightly surprised. Just now, when he entered the pavilion, his mind likely triggered some independent dimension, much like when his mind enters the heavenly thunder stone. Oh, I was thinking about something. Understanding what had happened, Jang Fan composed himself and explained. Yu Peiyuan, however, showed a suspicious expression. I screamed myself hoarse, yet you didn't hear. What were you thinking about that you were so deeply entranced? Jang Fan interrupted her doubts, saying, All right, let's not waste time. Let's quickly move to the next path. In his mind, his heart was racing. The North Sea youth surely didn't deceive him. Places circled on the map indeed contained treasures. Hence, he resolutely chose the second path marked with a circle. Yu Peiyuan followed reluctantly, grumbling as she walked. Let me lead the way. If you lead, we won't find a single blade of grass. If I lead, the ground will be littered with treasures, ancient texts, sky-reaching divine skills. Jang Fan continued to treat her words as the wind passing by, speeding along the path. Very soon they arrived at the end of the path. This place finally had a decent-sized hall. Beside the hall there was a fallen, rotting sign. On it the faint words, Divine Weapon Vault, could be seen. Ah, fool! You discovered the Divine Weapon Vault? Yu Peiyuan covered her mouth, exclaiming in joyful disbelief. She was so thrilled that she outright called him a fool. Jang Fan dissatisfiedly said, Why are you calling me a fool? Yu Peiyuan patted his shoulder with a laugh. Fools have their dumb luck. Even by leading aimlessly, you could bring us straight to the core Divine Weapon Vault. If not a fool, then what? Having said, she slightly rolled her beautiful eyes and said, Wait here first. I'll go inside to see if there's any danger. Once I confirm it's safe, you can come in, understand? Jang Fan looked at the plaque lying on the ground. There was a dent made by a blunt object on it. Looking towards the dim hall, he felt a silent apprehension. What, are you worried I might pocket the treasures inside? I'm considering your safety. Don't overthink it. Seeing Jang Fan dazed, Yu Peiyuan said this. Jang Fan came back to his senses, smiling. How could I? I'll wait here for you to notify me. Yu Peiyuan felt secretly pleased. Haha, fools are so easy to deceive. Brother Wei, you didn't expect, did you, that following a fool led me to a great treasure? The divine weapon vault is an absolute core in any relic, and a fool won't fight me for it. He. Okay, be patient and wait for me. Yu Peiyuan said, then eagerly slipped into the dark hall. Jang Fan, on the other hand, retreated to a safe spot, quietly holding a protective night pearl. Simultaneously, he silently began counting down. If after counting to 10 Yu Peiyuan doesn't return, he'll rush inside. 1, 2, 3, 4, just completed 4 counts. Bang, a loud thud sounded. Yu Peiyuan's figure was flung out, collapsing heavily on the ground. She spat a blood spray from her mouth. Caring not for the blood on her lips, she looked in horror toward the divine weapon vault, only to see a stone statue with 18 arms slowly walking to the hall entrance. It was the one that suddenly attacked, knocking Yu Peiyuan away. Yu Peiyuan looked down at her chest, a shirt thin as cicada wings, glowing flickeringly. What luck! Good thing I wore a shirt that resists nascent soul strikes. Otherwise, I would have died just now. But she was very unwilling, because she found something extremely valuable. Glancing at Jang Fan, who was hiding far away, her eyes glinted. Junior brother Jiang. I'll distract the stone statue. You head to the deepest part of the treasure vault and bring out the sword box inside. Anyway, Jang Fan was honest. No fear of him pulling tricks. Jang Fan hesitated. Really? Is she truly going to send a mouse into the grain bin? He is used to being plotted against by outer realm divine sect disciples. Yu Peiyuan's move left him perplexed. Did you hear me? Yu Peiyuan called out softly. Jang Fan responded consecutively. Yes, senior sister Yu. How could he refuse? Yu Peiyuan frowned slightly, muttering. Such a little fool, steeled herself and dashed inside. Exhibiting a formidable physique power, a punch seemed no lesser than that of a genuine nascent soul realm physique. The stone statue was blasted back repeatedly, clearing the entrance. Now, she shouted, rushing forward to attack the statue, giving Jang Fan time. Whoosh, seizing the moment, Jang Fan immediately leaped into the hall. Crossbow wherever the eye can see. All are decayed shelves, along with several rotten and rusty divine weapons. Some divine weapons have even turned into sludge. Jang Fan had encountered similar situations several times, so he wasn't surprised. Unless it's a spiritual artifact, it's hard to withstand the erosion of thousands of years. And he also noticed the sword box mentioned by Yu Peiyuan. It leaned against the corner of the wall, the only non-decayed thing in the hall. Quite conspicuous, Jang Fan flashed over, yet he didn't act impulsively. He found it somewhat odd. Why wasn't the sword box placed on the shelf, but instead it was leaning against the wall separately? Thinking it over, he punched a gust of wind from a distance to knock the sword box to the ground. Swish! An astonishingly chilling light suddenly shot out from behind the wall behind the sword box. It grazed past Jang Fan, with terrifying power that made his heart race. Boom, immediately. The great hall behind him was struck by this chilling light, causing the walls to collapse. The lingering force caused Jang Fan's hair to stand on end. It was a strike capable of killing a nascent soul. Looking closely, embedded within the wall was a palm-sized pocket crossbow. Inside, 3 finger-length crossbow arrows were loaded, ready to be fired. Except for appearing slightly ancient, it seemed to have suffered little from the erosion of time. Spiritual weapon pocket crossbow? Jang Fan was delighted in his heart. He quickly leaped forward, cautiously excavating it from the wall. 3 crossbow arrows. If caught by surprise, they might kill a nascent soul up close. Just when the talisman arrows were used up, this spiritual weapon pocket crossbow came just in time. He decisively loaded it into the heavenly thunder stone. Only then did Jang Fan turn to the sword box. He drew the purple sword and remotely prodded the sword box open. Originally thinking it would contain an unrivaled spirit sword, unexpectedly, like the divine weapons outside, it was rotten beyond recognition. Done yet? A struggling shout came from afar from Yu Peiyuan. Jang Fan hurriedly closed the sword box, grabbed it, and bolted out of the divine weapon vault. Seeing Jang Fan emerge, Yu Peiyuan then backed away, escaping the great hall. At this moment her hair was disheveled, her chest was covered in blood, gasping for breath. Guessing she took a few more punches just now. Senior sister Yu, are you okay? Yu Peiyuan ignored her injuries, snatched the sword box eagerly and opened it. But then her face froze. Indignant, she said, "Almost lost my life just for this." Angrily, she threw the sword box along with the sword inside to the ground. The broken sword shattered upon impact. The sword box alone remained intact. Jang Fan was in disbelief. Could the sword box be a spiritual artifact? Thinking back, the owner of this place devised malicious traps to prevent the sword box from being taken. His heart raced uncontrollably. But he didn't reveal any expression to prevent Yu Peiyuan from also realizing the sword box's value. Instead, he disdainfully kicked the sword box, sending it flying into the bushes. "I was nearly killed by the trap inside, and it's just a pile of junk." Jang Fan looked genuinely disheartened. Yu Peiyuan naturally heard the loud commotion earlier. Feeling slightly apologetic, she said, "Sorry for making you take such a risk. Next time we find good stuff, I'll let you pick first." She patted Jang Fan's shoulder to console him. Jang Fan was surprised. This girl, though calling him a fool, wasn't actually bad. All right, considering she helped him get the crossbow and sword box, if there's anything in the third treasure spot, she can share a bit too. "All right, let's go to the next place," Yu Peiyuan said, frustrated. Going to 2 places in a row, found absolutely nothing worth having. "Senior sister Yu, you go first. I need to relieve myself. I got scared by the sudden nascent soul strike," Jang Fan suddenly said. Yu Peiyuan was taken aback, then glanced between Jang Fan's legs, looking slightly disgusted. This guy, could he have peed himself? Seeing Jang Fan undo his trousers, she quickly turned and ran off. "HMPH, I haven't left yet." Jang Fan smiled faintly, watching her until she was out of sight beyond the corner of the path. Only then did he adjust his pants and hurried over to pick up the sword box from the bushes. Finally, it's in hand. Up until this moment, his harvest was already sufficient, making it worth the flame mark. Whatever he finds next is pure profit. Roar, suddenly. A fierce beast roar echoed throughout the secret realm. Low and penetrating, like a tiger's roar intimidating a commoner. Jang Fan's body swayed, his vital energy disturbed, showing a look of surprise and doubt on his face. What is this? Could there be something alive inside the relic?" Yu Peiyuan was startled too, quickly peeked over and waved. "Fool, come quickly. There's something wrong in this relic. Seems like there's some fierce creature." Jang Fan quickly walked over, saying solemnly, "Let's quickly regroup with Senior Zhu Yin." Although there was still a circled area unexplored, comparatively, life is more important. Yu Peiyuan hesitated and said, "Rarely do we come here. Should we leave empty-handed?" The roar sounded far away. "Let's search a bit longer. If we're truly in danger, we can find my master then." Jang Fan thought about it. The relic's size was limited. If there was truly an unbeatable danger using cloud shadow, he should be able to quickly reach Senior Zhu Yin. So he said at once, "All right, follow me." Considering Jang Fan had the luck to find the divine weapon vault, this time Yu Peiyuan didn't complain. Before long, they followed an inconspicuous path to its end. A vast nursery enclosed by a fence came into view. "Ah, it's a medicine garden." Yu Peiyuan couldn't believe it, shaking Jang Fan's shoulders. "Fool, luck of the fool indeed. You actually found such a place? We're rich, we're rich." Jang Fan raised his eyes to look. The vast nursery was desolate, devoid of any vitality, not looking like there was anything good at all. Yu Peiyuan, however, exclaimed excitedly, "Don't mind the barren ground. Perhaps underground, heavenly materials and earthly treasures may be thriving. This relic has existed for countless years. The age of the herbs, I shudder to think how old they might be. Come, let's search separately. You focus on the ground, any hint of sprouts or anything alive don't overlook." Saying that, she energetically picked a direction and began to search. Jang Fan stroked his chin. Searching for stuff is his specialty. Taking out the sky observation treasure, Jang Fan immediately started searching. Even in the vast medicine garden with the sky observation treasure overseeing, he scanned it in an instant. All was deathly still. Not a single weight. Jang Fan's gaze suddenly became serious. At the far corner of the medicine garden, there was an expanse of pitch-black scorch, as if some extremely hot flame had roasted this area. Nearby were scattered some huge scorched claw prints. Could it be that roaring beast earlier? Jang Fan felt uneasy. But soon he noticed with contracted pupils. In that corner, astonishingly, there were some small, flame-like azure seedlings, millennial heavenly materials and earthly treasures. He suddenly understood. These few spiritual objects are guarded by that ferocious creature. Why hesitate any longer? Take advantage of the creature's absence and dig them up quickly. He used his movement technique and quietly rushed over. As soon as he arrived, he smelled an incredibly astonishing medicinal fragrance. It was even more intense than the combined medicinal fragrance of a whole medicinal garden in the Green Cloud sect. These were herbs he had never seen before. They were definitely rare treasures of the world. He immediately took out a jade trowel and started digging at once. Very soon, a strange fruit with roots like a baby's shape was unearthed. The astonishing medicinal fragrance it emitted made Jang Fan unable to resist wanting to take a bite. But the medicinal properties of this herb were unknown. Before figuring it out, it was not advisable to consume it. Suppressing the thought of biting into it, he continued digging. Before long, 9 spirit fruits in the shape of a baby along with leaves were unearthed neatly. Only one was left. It seemed to have grown later. Only a single sprout had emerged. The estimated medicinal properties would be far inferior to the other 9. It would be a pity to dig it up, but not digging it means losing a future opportunity. It's a bit useless. Jang Fan frowned. After thinking for a bit, he said, "Forget it, let Yu Peiyuan have it. Without her, it would have been tough for me to obtain the sleeve crossbow and the sword box." Thinking of this, he used the sky observation treasure to locate Yu Peiyuan. He found her holding a shriveled, moldy piece of blue fruit, examining it. It was precisely the mysterious fruit from this place. It must have been leftover from the creature's meal. Upon examination, she found it extraordinary, and her face was filled with excitement as if she had found a treasure. Jang Fan smiled slightly. He dug out the sprout and flew near to her from not far away, then buried it in the ground, making it look as if it had grown there. "Senior Sister Yu, come over here quickly," he shouted from afar. Yu Peiyuan, upon hearing, quickly hid the fruit fragment away, then hurried over and said, "What is it, junior brother Jiang?" Jang Fan excitedly pointed to the ground. "Senior Sister Yu, look what I discovered." Yu Peiyuan stared intently at the sprout. Her expression changed dramatically. She immediately dug it up, finding it was exactly the fruit fragment she found. She couldn't help but show deep envy. "Junior brother Jiang, you discovered a huge treasure." Even from that shriveled fragment, she could feel its extraordinariness. The value is definitely no less than a 4th-grade spirit pill. And now there is a complete plant. Its value is unimaginable. She didn't expect that she only picked up a shriveled piece, yet a fool discovered a complete plant. Thinking of this, Yu Peiyuan felt an unspeakable discomfort in her heart. "What me? It's us. It's something we discovered together. We'll split it 50-50. Jang Fan said with a smile. "What?" Yu Peiyuan couldn't believe her ears. "Junior brother Jiang, you want to give me half?" Jang Fan nodded and said, "Yes, Senior Sister Yu has been protecting me all the way. We found the treasure, so we should split it evenly." Yu Peiyuan suddenly felt that the fragment hidden in her sleeve was like a red-hot iron, burning on her heart. She had hidden the fragment as soon as she picked it up. Yet Jang Fan, upon discovering a complete plant, wants to share it with her. What made her even more guilty was that her master had asked her to follow Jang Fan not to protect him, but to spy on whether he obtained anything good. Thinking of this, she felt even more ashamed. Jang Fan cut the fruit into 2 halves with a single sword stroke, placing them into 2 jade boxes. He stuffed one into her arms, saying, "Senior Sister Yu, why are you in a daze? We found something. Take what's good and leave. Let's quickly join Senior Zhu Yin." Yu Peiyuan looked at Jang Fan's innocent face. While overwhelmed with guilt, she was also deeply moved by Jang Fan's kindness. Tears glittered in her eyes, her pearly teeth biting on her red lips. She said, "Junior brother Jiang, from now on you are my own junior brother. If anyone wants to bully you, I will be the first to disagree." Jang Fan is so kind and innocent. How could anyone bear to bully him? That would be worse than a beast. She grabbed Jang Fan's hand and said, "Let's go. Go meet my master. I asked him to take you back to the Heaven and Sea Pavilion." Jang Fan chuckled to himself, if he remembered correctly. This girl was thinking earlier that after deceiving Jang Fan, he would surely praise her. When the two returned to the main road, Zhu Yin Master and his 3 companions were also nearby searching for them, seeing the 2 return safely. Zhu Yin Master relaxed, saying in a serious tone, "It's a good thing you didn't encounter the owner of that roar. Hearing that beast, even just the sound made my heart race with fear. It's definitely not something to mess with." He then showed a hint of expectation and said, "Pei Yuan, did you discover anything along the way?" Yu Peiyuan thought for a moment and then honestly handed over half a fruit. Zhu Yin Master's face dramatically changed as he snatched the fruit, exclaiming, "The demon infant fruit! This is the heaven-defying divine fruit that can allow a demon emperor to advance. It vanished 1,000 years ago. Pei Yuan, how did you even find such a divine object?" He was full of disbelief. Upon learning that it was something to advance a demon emperor, evil pupil master showed a look of jealousy. The three of them had searched along the way and found nothing. Suddenly, he narrowed his eyes. Why is there only half? Where's the other half? Zhuo Yin master also realized and quickly said, this fruit is only effective as a whole. Pei Yuan, quickly bring out the other half. If any of the demon emperors know of its existence, they would pay any price. Pei Yuan hesitated and said, Master, this was found by junior brother Jiang and he gave me half. What? Was it discovered by Jang Fan? Zhuo Yin master showed a look of surprise and suspicion, his eyes flashing brightly as he said, Pei Yuan, did you find anything else? Clearly, this wasn't asked to Pei Yuan, but to Jang Fan. Pei Yuan shook her head and said, we searched 3 places. In the end, we only got this demon infant fruit. Is that so? Zhuo Yin master nodded slightly, understanding his disciple well. She would definitely not lie. Evil pupil master, however, looked at Jang Fan with disbelief. HMPH. This kid is very cunning. Don't be fooled by him. Make him hand over his storage device, take everything out and check it one by one. I don't believe he'd be that honest. After dealing with Jang Fan twice, he had experienced this boy's depth and concealment. Pei Yuan became annoyed upon hearing this. Her face turned cold as she said, evil pupil master. Even if you have enmities with junior brother Jiang, there's no need to slander him like this, right? He's such an honest person. Do you not feel guilty slandering him like this? Master, I swear by the 1,000-year reputation of the heaven and sea pavilion that junior brother Jiang hasn't taken anything. Zhuo Yin master, who was also somewhat suspicious. Seeing his female disciple swear by the heaven and sea pavilion's reputation, his doubt subsided. He glanced at evil pupil master and said indifferently, stop stirring up trouble. Evil pupil master felt like spitting blood. No way, Jang Fan an honest person. What a joke. Is it not Jang Fan who schemed him into this state? Senior Zhuo Yin don't believe this little brat. Back then just as he was about to reveal Jang Fan's dark history to everyone. Suddenly, a low growl came from the direction of the medicine garden. It's the beast. Zhuo Yin master's eyes flickered, with the intention of leaving the Divinity Transformation Relics. This beast is certainly not to be trifled with. Jang Fan had long had the thought of running away, knowing that when this beast pursues, he would surely be the main target. However, his heart suddenly skipped a beat. He took out a piece of amber. Inside was sealed a drop of dried Divinity Transformation blood. He had acquired this at the Holy Land of the Giant Sect. At this moment, the dried Divinity Transformation blood actually reacted. This made his face turn serious. The dried Divinity Transformation blood only responds to Divinity Transformation blood. The problem is, the color change was becoming increasingly evident, indicating the other party was approaching rapidly. Could it be? Is the beast at the Divinity Transformation realm? Fan was filled with hesitation. If he didn't leave, it would be dangerous. But if he left, he couldn't think of any other way to obtain a second drop of Divinity Transformation blood essence. If he just left now, the life-changing jade disc might never be filled. What gave him a slight relief was, Zhuo Yin master, after a brief consideration, snorted. A rare encounter with the Divinity Transformation Relics. We haven't even explored 2 paths. Should we just leave like this? You vile beast, do you think I would fear you? He clenched his palm, and a palm-sized golden pair of scissors appeared in his hand. As nascent soul power was infused, the scissors began to grow larger as they faced the wind. In an instant, they transformed into a huge pair of scissors taller than a person. The blades were carved with scales and eyes, covered with serrations. At first glance, they resembled a ferocious evil flood dragon. Seeing this object, evil pupil master's pupils contracted, instinctively moving away from Zhuo Yin master, exclaiming, one of the 3 great divine artifacts of the heaven and sea pavilion, golden Jiao scissors. He showed a trace of deep dread, and seeing the master take out this object, Pei Yuan also felt at ease, beckoning to Jang Fan. Junior brother Jiang, come beside my master. This time my master specially borrowed the mid-grade spiritual artifact golden Jiao scissors from the heaven and sea pavilion. Just in case. With these scissors, unless the fierce creature reaches the 4 apertures nascent soul, it won't withstand a single cut. This meant that Zhuo Yin master with these scissors could contend with a 3 apertures nascent soul. Jang Fan showed a trace of surprise. The golden Jiao scissors in front of him gave him a rather intense and fierce impression, as if facing not a spiritual artifact, but a real evil flood dragon, ready to pounce and bite at any moment. But with someone to protect him, why would he hesitate? He immediately moved to Pei Yuan's side and said, "Thank you, senior sister Yu," Peiyuan said. "I told you you are my close junior brother. No one can bully you." Jang Fan was deeply grateful. Disciples of the Outer Realm divine sect weren't all annoying. There were also those like Yu Peiyuan who knew kindness and reciprocation with a simple and kind heart. As they spoke, the amber essence blood in his arms flickered rapidly, indicating the fierce creature had arrived. Looking far away, a mass of dark cloud came straight towards them. The cloud emitted overwhelming ferocity, accompanied by fierce roars. Zhu Yin Master saw that the entrant was not friendly, so he was unceremonious. He raised his hand, and the golden jiao scissors opened their blades, cutting fiercely towards the dark cloud. A roar erupted from within the cloud. Two blue beams of light shot out, blocking the golden jiao scissors. Zhu Yin Master's face tensed. What a fierce thing! To actually block the golden jiao scissors! Jang Fan's heart sank. Wasn't it said that unless it was a 4 apertures nascent soul, it couldn't block a single strike from the golden jiao scissors? Could the fierce creature in front of them be as fearsome as a hell beast? Fortunately, Zhu Yin Master had a backup plan, lightly snorting. "Then try taking another hit." He opened his mouth and sprayed a mouthful of precious nascent soul blood essence onto his palm. With a hand seal, the blood mist turned into a blood seal and hit the golden jiao scissors. The golden jiao scissors instantly increased in spiritual pressure. In an instant, they cut through the blue beams and snapped the dark cloud into two, howling accompanied by a painful howl. A tuft of orange-yellow fur fell from the rear half of the dark cloud. The cloud was also shattered, revealing the true form of the fierce creature. It was a chubby little tiger. Probably only a few months old, its plump face still had a bit of naive cuteness. A small gourd hung around its neck. It seemed like its bottle. Jang Fan was stunned. This is the fierce creature? It truly is fierce. Milk fierce. What made Jang Fan's mouth twitch slightly was the little tiger anxiously lowered its head, looking at its crotch. No one knew how the golden jiao scissors cut. A tuft of fur beside the 2 lychee nuts was just snipped off. It almost lost the joy of its tiger life. Its legs went soft, looking at everyone with embarrassment and anger. When it noticed Jang Fan, it sniffed as if recognizing him, then raised its paw and pointed at Jang Fan, fiercely growling continuously. Everyone felt their eardrums were about to burst. A peculiar expression swept across Jang Fan's face. Did it sound like Little Tiger was cursing Jang Fan and bringing along his ancestors in the curse? Zhu Yin Master's face twitched. "Little friend Jiang, what exactly did you do to this fierce creature? Did you raid its home?" Jang Fan rubbed his nose. "Was it just because I took all the spiritual objects under your watch? Is that why you're cursing me?" He awkwardly produced half a demon infant fruit. "Probably this thing caused the trouble." Zhu Yin Master understood. "No wonder. I was wondering where you found such a magical fruit that has been extinct for a millennium. Turns out it was guarded by this fierce creature." His gaze suddenly shifted and he said, "Little friend, as long as you hold on to this item, it will keep chasing you relentlessly. Afraid it's quite dangerous. Why not sell it to me?" Jang Fan was more than willing. After all, half of it was useless. Without hesitation, he tossed it to Zhu Yin Master. "Senior, just give me something in return." Zhu Yin Master beamed joyfully. He grew even fonder of Jang Fan. This young fellow is so easy to deal with. He was about to casually offer something when Yu Peiyuan spoke up. "Master, be generous. Junior brother Jiang has been so kind to me. He discovered this demon infant fruit but gave me half for nothing. Such a great person, if you shortchange him, it would seem disgraceful." She knew perfectly well her master's traits. Quickly laying on the moral pressure, Zhu Yin Master rolled his eyes in frustration. After just a short while with this young man, she's siding with him. He had intended to be stingy but now had to reconsider. After some contemplation, he, albeit reluctantly, took out a palm-sized golden spirit boat. "This boat is called the Golden Cloud Spirit Boat, a specialty of my heaven and sea pavilion, and I have only 2. With it, you can travel freely across the vast sea, covering tens of thousands of miles in a day, with speed no less than a nascent soul realm. The prerequisite is it requires top-grade crystal stones for activation. This extra one I'll give to you." Evil Pupil Master showed envy. "The Golden Cloud Spirit Boat isn't easy to acquire. He hasn't even had a way to get one." This young fellow, however, wooed Zhu Yin Master's female disciple so well, securing one for himself. The more he thought about it, the more it irritated him. "Roar!" Little Tiger roared at Jang Fan for a long time without attention. Infuriated, it clamped its gourd around its neck and gulped a couple of unknown contents. Then a remarkable scene unfolded. Its aura suddenly surged, ascending another level compared to just moments ago. Two thick blue beams shot from its eyes, instantly sending the golden Jiao scissors flying. Zhu Yin Master's face turned pale. The golden Jiao scissors were borrowed. If they were damaged, even selling himself wouldn't cover the cost. He hurriedly rushed to catch the golden Jiao scissors. The residual power from them made his blood churn internally. Along with the golden Jiao scissors, he crashed onto a certain branch road. His face showed horror, saying, "Quickly go." "This little tiger now possesses 4 apertures nascent soul." He leaped, grabbing 2 disciples, and fled. Evil pupil master was frightened into action. Quickly, he followed suit, escaping. Jang Fan gasped for air with shock. Doesn't this mean little tiger is akin to a hell beast now? He also immediately used Cloud Shadow to flee towards the exit. Bang! A thunder dragon resonated powerfully. Jang Fan vanished from the spot. The next moment, he appeared in the square. Looking at the flame gate so near, he instinctively prepared to dash out, but his gaze shifted. He took out the mid-grade, dustless talisman, still partially powered, adhering it to himself. In an instant, a fierce aura descended. That little tiger suddenly appeared. Finding the thunderous aura dissipated at the flame gate, it assumed Jang Fan escaped. Enraged, its paw slammed the ground repeatedly, roaring irately. The curses were quite unpleasant. Little did it know. Jang Fan was invisibly nearby. His eyes fixated on the gourd around little tiger's neck, descending into deep thought. The dried essence blood he held in his arms flickered with unprecedented urgency. It was visible. This little tiger must have the essence blood he dreams about. Thinking back, the little tiger had taken a sip from the gourd. Its aura could weirdly enhance significantly. The gap between nascent soul realm must be far greater than core formation realm, right? Which could forcibly enhance nascent soul realm power. Besides essence blood, Jang Fan couldn't think of anything else for now. "Roar," the little tiger vented angrily, then turned around and walked away in annoyance. Jang Fan discreetly followed behind it. His eyes closely watched its bottle, his lips slightly licking. The little tiger ran deep along the main road. As time passed, its aura visibly weakened. 4 apertures nascent soul, 3 apertures nascent soul, 2nd stage nascent soul. Finally, not even nascent soul realm. It fell to core formation realm. Sure enough, its power was related to the contents of the gourd. When it fell to the 6th level of core formation, it had reached the end of the road. This place was dark, ahead was the end of the space. It was a black space barrier. The Beihai demon clan's search also stopped here. But the little tiger's eyes shot 2 blue rays hitting the space barrier. A blue little door unexpectedly appeared. Is there a hidden space after all? Jang Fan's breath caught. He watched the little tiger run inside, and the blue little door was about to close. He quickly slipped in quietly. Upon arriving, he discovered that this place was actually a grand hall. The hall was resplendent with gold and jade, the walls engraved with dragons and phoenixes. The pillars were vividly decorated with dragon patterns. The end featured a lofty dragon chair, clearly resembling the layout of the imperial palace's golden throne hall of the human clan. Beside the dragon chair, there was a crystal coffin resembling a coffin. The coffin lid was lifted, as if a creature sleeping for countless ages had awakened not long ago, and in the center of the golden throne hall, there was a recessed square pool. Inside, blue magma churned. What made Jang Fan's pupils shrink was, there was, unexpectedly, a fire furnace bound by numerous chains inside the magma. Occasionally, blue magma bubbled out from it, and inside the blue magma, blue flames occasionally steamed out. The blue flames on the flame gate, which could melt Zheng metal stone, originated right from the fire furnace before him. But what was even more surprising was, the chains binding it could burn in blue magma for 1,000 years without breaking. The quality was at least comparable to a spiritual artifact. Imagining the level of this fire furnace was simply unimaginable. At this moment, the magma was almost full. It wouldn't be many years before it overflowed and flooded this space completely. After entering the space, the little tiger roamed around boredly as if it were home. Then it lay down in a pile of dry grass in the corner. Upon seeing a yarn ball beside it, it cuddled and played with it. Eventually, growing bored, it yawned, stretched languidly, and lay on its side to sleep. Not long after snoring could be heard. Jang Fan finally seized the opportunity, stealthily came forward. Looking at the little tiger curled up into a ball like a big orange cat, he licked his dry lips. With a pounding heart, he reached out to grasp the gourd made of unknown material. Feeling its heavy weight inside, his heart raced even more. The contents were all Divinity Transformation blood, far more than just one drop. With trembling hands, he untied the rope. The moment he cradled the gourd in his palm, unprecedented excitement surged. If nascent soul was hard to find, then essence blood was even more ethereal. He never dared to hope he could find it. Now a gourd full of Divinity Transformation blood essence lay before him. It was as if dreaming. However, whether it's actually essence blood still required final confirmation. He took out the amber sealing the dried essence blood, pressing it against the gourd. The essence blood emitted intense blood light. There was no doubt about it. This was essence blood. Jang Fan couldn't help but laugh, finally acquired. His opportunity in nascent soul was finally clearing its biggest obstacle. He only needed to capture one more nascent soul to activate the life-changing jade disc. Except, at this moment, Jang Fan suddenly felt the air tremble slightly. He looked down. The little tiger was staring at Jang Fan. Turns out it was the essence blood in amber that startled it awake. It looked baffled at the air before it. Soon it noticed something missing from its neck. With a sudden bounce, it jumped up, opened its mouth and began roaring. Without nascent soul realm, its roar was weak, adorably soft. Jang Fan chuckled, retreated silently, choosing not to strike. This little tiger did kind of gift him the essence blood after all. To kill it would be somewhat unreasonable. But just as he was about to leave, the dustless talisman he wore finally exhausted its effect, turning into ashes. Its sneaky figure was revealed. The little tiger was stunned, then immediately recognized Jang Fan, fuming instantly. Stealing its demon infant fruit and still want to grab its bottle. Isn't that shameless? Roar angrily, it lunged forward like a fierce tiger ready to pounce. But its cultivation had long fallen to the first or second layer of core formation. Jang Fan casually grabbed and pinched its neck fur, lifting it into the air. "Little fellow, did you just scold me?" Since it was busted, Jang Fan didn't bother being polite. Recalling how it had roared several times at him earlier, he raised a hand and smacked its bottom. "Learning to curse so young? Will you still scold or not?" Roar, roar, roar. "Still dare to be fierce?" Smack, smack, smack. "Will you still scold or not?" Roar, roar, smack, 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 roar. Smack, 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 whimper, whimper, the little tiger's bottom turned red and swollen from the spanking, crying out in pain. Jang Fan laughed heartily, pat its little head, saying, "Little creature, I'll let you off. Don't be fierce from now on, all right?" With that said, he placed it back in the haystack. Feeling joyful, he returned to the hall's entrance. Just as he was about to open the door creaked, opening by itself. Zhu Yin Master, Evil Pupil Master Yu Peiyuan, and Wei Kaoran stood side by side at the hall's entrance. Jang Fan was startled, but quickly regained composure, surprised. "Senior Zhu Yin, Senior Sister Yu, how did you find this place too?" Odd. He had followed the little tiger to find this hidden space within the space barrier. How did these four know about it? Even stranger was. The four remained silent, filled with fear on their faces. Yu Peiyuan was especially pale, constantly signaling at Jang Fan with her eyes. Jang Fan instantly sensed a bad premonition. Upon closer inspection, he noticed Zhu Yin Master was stained with blood on her chest. Evil Pupil Master's clothes were muddy, as if having been beaten and rolled in mud. His heart skipped a beat. Suddenly it dawned, recalling the large footprints seen in the medicinal garden. They didn't resemble the little tiger's footprints at all. Reflecting more, the little tiger was still suckling its bottle. Clearly looked as if someone looked after it. Could it be there's a more formidable presence in these relics? At this moment, he glimpsed someone standing coldly behind Zhu Yin Master. Cold sweat quietly seeped down his forehead.